lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From Sin City, the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series is ready to get it on here in the first round, or in the first race of the round of 8. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we're getting ready for a duel in the desert. Tonight, as expected, Alex Murray is steaming in here with a full head of steam into this racetrack as all of these drivers are ready to rock and roll here at America's Playground. I'm Dave Regal here alongside with my new partner in crime, Emily Arias, here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. And we'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, it is a pleasure to be with you tonight. As always, thank you for making us a part of your evening. Make sure that you're giving us a shout out in our youtube.com live chat. Of course, I see Deb Harris saying good luck to the drivers, go Prodigy. Emily, this is an important race tonight as we've got 3 races here in the round of 8.
Yes, sir. As, like you said, round 8, race 1. So there's still a couple more races in this round 8. but the drivers in the playoffs do gotta make sure they either place at least second through fifth or win this race.
Absolutely. Points are going to be key tonight as qualifying is underway, and it looks like 16 of our already 19 drivers in the field tonight have laid down a qualifying time tonight. As right now, fastest on the timing line is Jacob Schneider. We can see him up there. Alex Murray going to be probably on the outside of row number one. I'm sorry. Randall Watkins just coming back into pit road, the Miami, Florida native. And Emily, I want to remind our fans that next Sunday night we will not be on the air for the Stacy Strong Cup Series, as you, myself, and several other of our SRM family will be in Miami.
Yes, sir, and I'm 100% looking forward to that, actually. But
we still have a couple of days before we get on the road for everybody. Of course, you'll be driving down there, I'll be flying, and boy, will my arms be tired. See what I did there? Stay tuned, folks. Uncle Dave is here with the stupid jokes. As we're still waiting to see a couple of other drivers maybe go out and make their qualifying run. Want to pull up our race information of the evening. Here in the round of 8, 67 degrees in the stands if you're there in the bleachers. 80 degrees the track temperature right now during qualifying. So, Emily, that puts a lot of grip into the racetrack here, as we saw today in the real-life race that the track was absolutely blistering. And when I say blistering, I mean that literally. There were a lot of tires being blistered just by the temperature of the track.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 80 degrees, sometimes you think, hey, 80's hot. But in the world of racing, 80 degrees is about the right temperature to get grip onto that track, but also like a nice day and not dying in that race car.
Absolutely. I mean, qualifying sim time is 11 a.m., so the sun hasn't come to that highest peak yet, and the race itself will be simmed at 11:30 a.m., so still a lot of time for that track temperature to come up. And the scheduled distance tonight, 400 miles for a total of 267 laps. Stage break's going to be at the conclusion of lap number 80 and 165, so that last 102 laps is going to be incredible to watch, especially as some of these drivers, we're going to see whether or not they can really hold up to the conditions here in Las Vegas. And, this is an exciting track. I mean, of course, home of the Busch brothers, which we've seen over the last, couple of decades now in NASCAR. What's the secret to getting around here? Where's the speed, Emily?
The speed is that bottom line. That's the line that we'll see most of these drivers start running. But Vegas is a track that later down in, once that groove gets ran in, you can run that mid to high line.
Yeah, we saw that today. In fact, they were talking about it during the race broadcast, that top line going to start to come in about 15 laps into a set of tires. Once those tires start to give up the ghost, and even the professional drivers, and don't get me wrong, I know that there's a lot of folks here on the iRacing servers that can really save their tires, but even professional drivers know that this place is going to melt your tires off. It's going to be a total of 9 sets of tires, laying 8, so that's a lot.
Yeah, 8 sets of tires. I did a race here yesterday, and they had a lot less tires.
Fuel window is also going to be important, especially for those guys that are saving tires. I mean, on average, they should be able to get with 9 total sets if they wanted to stay fast and stay grippy. They should somewhere be around, about 35 to 45 laps for that pit window for tires. Now, the thing here in this league is watching some of these guys save those tires, save that grip. And we're going to see a lot of that tonight amongst these drivers. We're going to see if we can get a hold of Alex Murray, our points leader, as we're going to bring him on down to the broadcast booth. Hey, Alex, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
There you go.
Well, Emily and I are here in the booth on the call tonight, and I got to know, man, what's going to be your secret to trying to boogie around this joint and, get that automatic transfer into the round of 4?
Stay out of trouble. Try not to battle teammates too hard here early and keep the car in one piece. After that, and when it comes to the final stage, I think it's pretty much every man for themselves. So just going to have to be smart, keep tires on it, and hopefully end up in victory lane.
Now, when you say teammates, now you of course are going to be alongside Joe Pisciota and Brandon Edstrom. Are they going to be? Are all three of you going to be on the same setup tonight, or is everybody kind of mad scientist style?
Yeah, we're all on the Ryko setup tonight. I think we're all on the same exact one. I know some people change some stuff, but I believe we're all on the same one, and I think we're all going to be pretty strong. So I'd keep an eye out.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on leading the field here in the round of 8. Good luck to you tonight as you're going to try to get that transfer spot early. Next week that takes the pressure off of you going to Homestead, and of course definitely takes you out of the loop for the paperclip Martinsville.
Yeah, the buffer's nice to have, of course, but never know what can happen. It could go south pretty quick, so gonna have to stay consistent and stay on our toes.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
We're going to move him on back up here. We're going to pull down Randall Watkins, driver of the number 27. Hey, Randall, it's Dave and Emily up in the booth. You got us.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, listen, wanted to drop in here as, you get your warm-up underway. Now, next week, we'll be down there in Miami, Emily and I both, along with a bunch of us from Sim Racing Media. What are you looking forward to tonight here at Las Vegas and then moving into that home track of yours?
Well, I'm hoping to have a better run than I've been having lately. It's just I've been feeling been having a lot of sickness, a lot of nausea going on. If I can get past that, hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah, we stand with you as you go through your illness, and believe you me, we're all hoping and praying for the best outcome. But boogieing around here, where are you finding some of that speed on this racetrack?
If you can stay close to the bottom around here, that's the fastest way around. But depending on how you got the car set up, you can run the middle line, and I've even seen the high line work pretty good. Just for me, I like it better on the bottom.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck to you, and maybe we'll see you next week in Miami.
I hope so. I plan on being there.
Listen, you give me a shout, and I will find wherever you are. We'll meet up.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, brother.
It's hard to make that happen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun, and this is one of those times of year where, you and I didn't get to take part in it last year, but this is exciting for us as a team here at Sim Racing Media, especially as we mourn the loss of our friend. And speaking of which, one of the biggest supporters of Tony Trapasso was, of course, Brian Tarnowski, who raced last night in our memorial race. We want to thank Brian. As always, in fact, I want to see if I've got enough time here to pull Brian down. Hey, Brian, it's Dave and Emily up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, listen, it's a lot easier when I'm sitting up here in the booth and you're down there on the track. It keeps us from running into one another.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, you're doing great this season, and last night we want to thank you for coming out for a memorial race for Tony, because that means a lot to us here at SRM.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. He was a big part of everything with Stacy, and I couldn't miss it.
You've got that right. I mean, I remember during, the height of what you were dealing with Stacy, and he was one of the first people at SRM to jump at the chance to help you out there. So we appreciate you returning that kindness and that love.
Oh, absolutely. And my first race back, I won at Daytona, and he called it. So we had a moment together for there. So yeah, it just sucks, but you know what? He can have fun with Stace now, man. She'll drive him crazy up there. So
trust me, I when I heard you say that last night, you know what? I got to be honest with you. Between us and everybody else and our closest friends here in this circle, when you said that last night, I started to bawl like a little girl.
I was right there at the end. That's why I had to cut her off.
Yeah.
But,
when you said that, all I could do was think of the two of them up there. Him watching me bitching that I'm not doing it the right way, and her telling you, "Are you about done because it's time to go to bed?"
Yeah, and it's more of a, really, you're racing again? Really? But no. But Stacy enjoyed that I did this. So it gave me something to do. I took care of her. I didn't have to leave the house, and yeah, Tony was a big part of that, with helping us and with helping others fight cancer with Trish's Hope as well. So that, I mean, it's just, it's huge.
Yeah, he will always be with us, and so will Stacy. So listen, I appreciate you. And before I lose composure here, I am going to get ready to rock and roll as you are too.
All right, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll chat, and hopefully I can keep the wheels underneath it tonight.
Absolutely. Listen, tell Kavaj I said what's up, and good luck tonight.
All right, I will. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. That, of course, Brian Tarnowski, who drives the number 28 Stacy Strong Chevrolet Camaro. We see him right here. As Emily, we're gridding up. We're getting ready to rock and roll, and just waiting right now for pole sitter Jacob Schneider to hop in the car. We're going to get those qualifying results up here on the screen. We'll take a quick peek at these before we run through everybody one by one. Looks like John Wilco and Ken Ron and Rafael Rodriguez, the only drivers not to lay down a qualifying time. Cody Colley getting into the car now. We're still waiting for Jacob Schneider. And there he goes. That's a good sign. So it looks like Rafael Rodriguez is going to be the only driver not taking the green flag. As there he goes, hopping into the car, making me look like a clown. Why not? As we get ready to go through this starting lineup, roll that beautiful bean footage. Jacob Schneider going to sit on the pole position tonight alongside Alex Murray on the front row. Alex going to be on that high side as Schneider goes to feel that transition on the apron. Jeremy Miller and RJ Root going to be featured here on row number 2. Row number 3 on the inside going to be Brandon Edstrom from Springfield, Vermont, while Joe Pisciota going to sit on the outside. Ryan Samuelson and Ron Fitting going to be featured here in row number 4, while row 5, rounding out the top 10, going to be my buddy Kavaja Holt and his teammate, our good friend Brian Tarnowski, out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Cody Colley and Mark Johnson going to be on row number 6. Who's going to be starting in 13th?
Row 7 is going to be Randall Watkins and Tanner Marty. Row 7 is going to be Chris Claude and Ken Ron. I hope I didn't say that wrong.
Nope, that's correct. Out of Dillsburg, PA.
Row 8 is going to be John Wilco and Rafael Rodriguez. And row 7 is going to be Sean Rogers and...
That's it. Sean Rogers going to be starting shotgun on the field, but he will not be taking the green flag, the Kalamazoo, Michigan native. So starting shotgun officially will be Rafael Rodriguez. But like I said, folks, 267 scheduled laps. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out this time. It makes the hard left turn downtown. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, settle in, because right here on Sunday Night NASCAR, it's green flag racing.
As we just get started, two-wide action still going into turns 1 and 2. Not much battling, but it's Vegas, right? Anything can happen.
Vegas and Vegas out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. These cars thundering past us already at 170 miles per hour for many of them going in as we sit underneath the camera. And as we've made that first lap, looks like credit going to go to pole sitter Jacob Schneider with those pink wheels on the car tonight, as he's being challenged by Jeremy Miller. An interesting start as RJ Root now working the outside, thinking maybe he can find some speed here on the high side.
Yes, as fighting for first already, working on lap 2, the 69 car of Raymond Root. Challenging and overpassed the number 2 car. Definitely showing that he has speed out here tonight and is actually pulling away from the field right now.
Well, you know, almost like the race earlier today on NBC, a quick change of the lead early on here on lap number 3. In fact, that race, the first lead change was at lap 4, and RJ now starting to put a gap between himself and Schneider. And Emily, he is one of those drivers, I know that you and I have both raced against him. He is one of those drivers, once he hits that clean air, he's going to set sail.
Oh yeah, he's gone. But I'm just surprised that much gap is impossible. I mean, new tires, I guess, but oh my god, that is like gap that's increasing with him.
Still nose to tail now as Jeremy Miller working the inside of Jacob Schneider. As now Jeremy Miller and Alex Murray going at it. That's your points leader there. in the 22 as they're going to work side by side. Now we've got action between the 74 and the 30. That's Brandon Edstrom and Jeremy Miller, as Miller seems to start falling back a little bit, but a tip of the cap to the boss man, Jonathan Leach, as the Hoka machine driven by Ryan Samuelson is already charging up 5 positions.
Yeah, as two-wide action from third place and back contesting for second. 5 left into the race, and they're still 2x2, 3 wide a couple times. Not too shabby, as the 69 car of Raymond Root pulling almost, what is that, 2-second gap from that main pack. I don't think we're going to see him again next review.
Oh, we'll see him when he pulls in at stage break.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, a little 1-2-3 action here between the 02, the 74, and the 22 as they are trying to get through this thing. They've almost got themselves a toss salad here as there's 5 cars in a pack. One wrong flinch and it's all over. Don't look now, though. Brian Tarnowski has just rocketed the 28 up in the second position, and he is putting his sights right on RJ Root. And believe me, I have raced with and around Brian now for the last 3 years, and, you know, I joked with him about us running into one another. There was a period of time back in 2021 where Brian and I could not be within 4 car lengths of one another because it was like a magnet between the two of us.
You know, that reminds me of an old league I used to run that's no longer active anymore. But I had that same issue with another person. It seems like a habit.
I know exactly who you mean, and we're sorry that league's not here anymore, that's for sure. That was a lot of fun to watch. But speaking of fun to watch, Chris Claude in the number 10 Wendy's machine. Now, I've been breaking Chris's stones the last couple of weeks because he's had things that he's usually a Coca-Cola products guy, and finally he puts a paint scheme on his number 10 Camry that's at least associated with Coca-Cola. Of course, Wendy's proud dispensers of Coke. As he is now crawling up 2 positions from where he had started. But right now, biggest mover of the night is our buddy Mark Johnston in the number 80 Asparagus Radio Ford Mustang. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of these cars, if you take all of the paint off of them and you take the decals and so on, they're pretty much the same, correct?
Yes, but from what Frank Lewis told me yesterday is some of them handle just a tad different, even though all of them are on custom handling lines. Even with those in the race car, getting those custom built, you know what I mean? There's still a tad different. The Camry has a little bit more grip, a little bit loose. The Camaro, a little bit looser. Camry feels like it's planted down on the track. All these cars are the same, yes, but they have that little difference that you could tell if you have all 3.
I mean, I say that because, of course, tomorrow night in the Xfinity Series, we've got, it's usually very Chevy heavy, and you know, that's, of course, in the B cars. But here in the Cup Series, we are very blue oval heavy tonight, as there's just 4, 5, 6, 7 Chevrolets, 1 Toyota in the field.
All I'm saying is go Chris in that Camry.
Yeah, Chris is holding that Toyota line together. And to answer your question, Deb Harris, that's Emily Arias with me here in the broadcast booth. She's one of our team members here at Sim Racing Media. You'll be hearing a lot of her now moving forward, as she's going to be my permanent new booth partner. So I'm glad to have her with me. As you know, I'll tell you what, Em, calling the Monday Night NASCAR Series is long. Wow, 3 wide. We'll get back to that in a second. As Randall Watkins is on the high side right now, though. Joe Pisciota, 3 wide, he's the meat, dropping now down in front of points leader Alex Murray. And what an impressive pass that was, as he was able to split the uprights there and keep it moving. But Deb, to finish my thought there, Emily is going to be with me now the rest of the way, at least for this season, hopefully beyond. But it's always nice to have a partner here in the booth, especially one that you care about and that's a good friend.
Yes, sir. As the 02 and the 00 and 21. There we go. Battling for that 4th place position. Or, yeah. 6 or 7. Close enough, right?
It's close enough.
As the 02's working on it, but 2 wide, almost 3 wide. Whew. Close with the 27 car. There's some tight racing here on lap 15, don't you think?
For lap 15, yes, and this is about where we're going to start to see some of these tires scrub away, as now that we're at least into the sim race itself, into that sim time. Let's take a look at the track temperature, all the way up to 84 now. So things definitely heating up, as 4 degrees. That's a pretty big swing, especially when some of these drivers have it, have that car set to squat at 80. But right now, Jacob Schneider and Kavaja Holt going at it pretty hot and heavy here on lap number 16. And something to look forward to tonight, folks, as all of you pretty much know. Whoa! My goodness, 3 wide. That's Kavaja loose in the middle. Kavaja gets a little wiggle and stays out of Jacob Schneider and Alex Murray's way, as they're going to go at it here and take along Jeremy Miller with them, as, all of a sudden, Jacob Schneider getting a little wiggly.
Yes, sir. As 22 car looking, getting close to the back bumper of the 30 car of Jeremy Miller. Maybe trying to make a move, maybe not. But battling in the back between the GoPro Chevy back there is what I just saw. Possibly.
There it is, the Superflow number 56. That's Cody Colley up 1 from where he had started. A lot of big movers here, though. As we see now, Brian Tarnowski still trailing race leader RJ Root, but Brian has now put about 0.2 of a second between himself and Mark Johnston. If these two guys can be disciplined enough to work together instead of racing against one another, they may be able to close some of this gap that RJ is already putting out here. RJ's even screwing around here with that bottom apron here at the end of the racetrack. But right now, looks like many of these drivers starting to get themselves settled in, and RJ no difference there for sure. As we look back here at this battle for 6th position, Joe Pisciota being chased down by Jacob Schneider. Schneider starting to look to the inside of Pisciota.
Yeah, and can I mention how many Fords I see right here? All 5 Fords right there. Oh, I feel like there's more Fords in here than Chevy and Toyota, right?
Yeah, remember we just went over that?
Oh,
remember that time?
To be fair, okay. To be fair, I heard you say Chevy, not Ford.
Monday night is Chevy heavy.
That's what I heard. Okay, my bad.
It's fine. Now I know that you don't pay attention to me, but it's okay. Everybody else does.
No. I pay attention. No, I pay attention. I swear, I pay attention. I do. Promise. But, you know that nice little restaurant I sent in our chat that I suggested we all should go to?
Yes.
What's your opinions on that?
I get paid by the hour, but I don't get paid that much by the hour.
Touche.
Like the prices of that restaurant are hooker numbers. Welcome to Sunday Night NASCAR, where all of a sudden we test you to see if you can come back.
As battling with the 74 car and 80 car
gave up
for that. What? Okay.
Hooker prices. Beat me.
Anyways, back to the race on that note. 80 car falling back quite a few positions, running that high line. Maybe just trying to save those tires, or
It's either that or he just cooked those tires off, as Randall Watkins goes the first car a lap down now, as he was just past. Oh, looks like Randall may have put it on the hauler. He may not be feeling too well. That's a shame for him, as I know he does like this racetrack. We've talked about that before. But kind of a little bit of a knot here. It opens the door for Ryan Samuelson to take second position away. And now, speaking of cooking the tires a little too fast, looks like Brian Tarnowski may have done the same thing as he's holding on for dear life over top of Brandon Edstrom. As Edstrom ready to take it 3 wide, perhaps. Maybe a little early for some 3 wide action, but he definitely considered it, as now it looks like all of a sudden Jacob Schneider going to do the same thing.
Yes, sir. As, like you mentioned, Tarnowski is falling back. He could follow in right there, but as close from the 0-2, gets really close to the back bumper of Tarnowski, as the 22 is kind of looking on the outside of that 30 machine, right? Yeah.
It's quite a knot that they formed there, and looking back further in the field, where eventually we're going to see that kind of action. Ken Ron here in the 33, he's holding on for dear life in the GoPro machine as he's chasing down Tanner Marty, and maybe he's got a little something for Marty. It looks like the two of them have been moving up together pretty steadily so far this evening as they're working together. Meanwhile, the pride of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, Mr. John Wilco, buzz drunk tonight, is, I'll tell you what, here's the thing with John. He's finished on the podium several times. As all of a sudden, Tanner Marty just plummeted. Not sure what just happened with Tanner. Oh, he may be having connection issues. We're going to have to keep an eye on Tanner Marty.
Yes, sir.
As I wanted to mention a few moments ago, we're about a half hour away from first pitch in the Texas Rangers-Houston Astros game. So, folks, we're going to have a little something special tonight, as we'll be able to bring you some live updates from the field with a new graphic here on SRM. As, of course, you know, this is the best time of year for people like me. I mean, right now we've got NASCAR playoffs, baseball playoffs, football is underway, which is now getting into the meat of the season. Hockey just started on Thursday and Wednesday. Plus there's all kinds of soccer action. This is like the best sports month of the year.
Yeah, I'm just going to pretend like, I mean, I know what baseball is, but do I watch it? No. And I do know what football is. Do I watch it? No.
You're forgiven.
But circling back, as the 81, kind of falling back from where he was at, but falling back into the line. Let's talk a little bit about next week, right? We're going to be in Miami. I did see the forecast for next week.
I have not looked at it yet.
A little rain, got storms, is what I saw. So, will the races get rained out tonight?
Here's the thing, and I'll say this from a general knowledge of America's southeastern coast. Having spent some time in the Sunshine State, in the Palmetto State of South Carolina, here's the thing. Just about every afternoon at 3:30, 4 o'clock on a good hot day, you're going to get some kind of thunderstorm, shower, whatever, because the atmosphere is that unstable with all of that heat built in there. Now, I'm looking at the AccuWeather forecast on AccuWeather.com, and it looks like Wednesday, Thursday are going to be highs in the mid to low 80s and partly sunny. Then Friday, I do see the variable cloudiness with showers and thunderstorms. So let me explain. I've already been in Myrtle Beach and in Florida where, it's a beautiful sunny day, and all of a sudden it just starts raining out of nowhere. And it might rain like all get out for 15, 20, 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden it stops just as quick as it started. The sun comes out, dries everything up, and you're back to normal. It's the strangest thing. It's why every year when Daytona gets rain delayed, I'm never really that worried unless it's, hurricane level rain. But usually they're able to clean that up. The problem with Daytona is that it starts so late in the day that it's hard to keep it scheduled for that day without going into the wee small hours of the morning.
Oh yeah.
And there's your weather lesson.
You gotta remember, this will be my first time not in Florida. First time down that far in Florida. I've been to Pensacola, I've been to a couple of places, but I've never been to Miami.
Pensacola is a wonderful little place. My aunt and uncle used to live there. That was always cool. Went to Pensacola Naval Air Station. I was in West Palm Beach and Boca when I was a kid. And Orlando, of course. Daytona, and I've been up and down the west coast of Florida as of this year. So it's a strange thing, but I wouldn't be worried about the weather forecast, that's for sure.
Okay.
They call it the Sunshine State for a reason.
Touche. But all I can think of really right now is a battle between the 30 and 22 right here. Bumper to bumper. Putting pressure on him as he tries to go down low, trying to make a move, getting down there. As we talked about earlier, about 40 laps in right now, 35 laps on these tires. They're starting to run that mid to high line as well. Like, all of these lines are starting to run.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm even looking at some of our lap times right now. RJ Root, who's back into third position as we see him here running in the 69. Things are starting to get a little slippy out there. As I mentioned, that racetrack's starting to heat up. Of course, the tires starting to liquefy under these cars. But RJ Root laid down a fast time. Actually, it looks like John Wilco may have had the fastest lap of the race. John Wilco, here's our fast lap, Mark Johnston. Now, Mark Johnston ran a 30.01. That's his best lap of the race so far. He's already down to a 31.66. Now, RJ Root, that of course was our race leader for a long period of time, his fastest time was 30.1 and just ran a 31.27. So there's an average of about a half second falling off of these cars right now, 37 laps in, and I've got to imagine that that's definitely tightening these cars up quite a bit. It's going to keep the race itself exciting, even as we watch right here this front three of Pisciota, Schneider, and Edstrom.
Yeah, as we're getting to that green flag pit stop area, especially for RJ Root, with how loose his car is, I wouldn't be surprised around 45-50 he comes down pit lane, gets a fresh new set of shoes and takes off again like he did at the start of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just about halfway through stage number 1 here, and we should be, if you really break it down, 40 laps, you'll have plenty of tires to get to the end. As we're going to take another look here at our conditions. Track temperature, wow. Let's see how we can talk. Track temperature now up to 85 degrees. It's funny, I'm getting all tongue-tied, and I've been on a microphone now since Friday between high school football here in Pennsylvania's coal region, then yesterday doing a remote broadcast up in the coal regions, and now today here with you calling Sunday Night NASCAR.
Yes, and when it comes down to Sunday Night NASCAR, it is a fun race to be in the booth and be able to watch these drivers battle each other out for these 267 laps. Every time I get in the booth here, it's always a treat, action-packed from start to finish, and that's what we like to see.
Absolutely. Taking a look here at our YouTube.com live chat, we want to thank everybody for making us a part of their evening. Of course, if you like hanging out with Emily and I tonight, you can come hang out with me tomorrow night as I fly solo on Monday nights for Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action, brought to you by A Lot Cleaner Property Management and Maintenance. Of course, right now I'm off from high school football over on WMGH 105.5. You can check out our app over there. But, we usually have 3 nights of the SNN family of racing. The trucks are off on Tuesday, as it looks like we're going to start to have folks coming into the pits. Cody Colley, the first to take the bait, and he's going to come down pit road for service.
Yeah, as 100% racing field here tonight. Definitely about time for them to come down pit lane. We're about to see pit stops from about everybody here tonight. Some of these drivers that, that car's getting loose, and they're like, it's about that time to come down into that pit lane, get a fresh set of shoes, get some fuel, as the number 74 car of Edstrom coming down pit lane, a little squirrely.
Brandon Edstrom definitely had a little bit of a squirreliness to him, as he's coming down pit lane. He's going to come down and get four tires and a tank full of Go Fast, as we've got Edstrom, Root, Sean Rogers, Kavaja Holt, Brian Tarnowski, Rafael Rodriguez, Ken Ron, Chris Claude, and Mark Johnson. Chris Claude now coming off of pit road as he's going to fire away and get himself rolling. That leaves Jacob Schneider, Jeremy Miller, and Ryan Samuelson out on the track as they're going to try to make up some of this time. John Wilco from McAdoo, Pennsylvania. Of course, I was actually on Friday night fairly close to him as I was in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. So about 20 minutes south of where John Wilco lives, up there in McAdoo. If you're ever bored and you're looking for something to do on a weekend and you're thinking about McAdoo, Pennsylvania, think again. Just don't. It's a tiny little town. About 3. You're not thinking about going to McAdoo, that's for sure.
What's McAdoo?
It's a tiny town about 2 laps. About 2 blocks long, and it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
Oh wow. Yeah. I'm just gonna pretend like I paid attention to that. Yes. I did pay attention, yes. About 2 blocks long. That's interesting. 2 blocks? That's I think that's the smallest town I've ever heard of. As 81 of Ryan Samuelson still out, has not pitted yet. We still got 3 cars. My stuff wants to work. Yeah, still 3 cars out in the lead. 0-2 of Jacob Schneider, Ryan Samuelson, and Ron Fitting have not came down to pit yet, putting everybody a lap down, but everybody will be back on that lead lap once these 3 cars pit.
Yeah, when they do come back around here, whenever Schneider, Samuelson, and Fitting come on in, right now the last thing that they would want to see is a caution. As, whoa, Samuelson just whips it in, nearly has the rear end step out on him. He comes down pit road. That's going to leave Schneider and Fitting atop the pile. That's going to cycle Alex Murray, Jeremy Miller, Brandon Edstrom, Joe Pisciota, and RJ Root up to the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 positions as Fitting now coming down and leaving Schneider all by his lonesome up here on the lead lap. Not sure what the thinking is here with Schneider, if maybe he thinks he can just hold on to this. I don't know. That's an interesting move.
Now, I really don't know how many laps they can go on the field. Probably about 60, I say. He might be just pushing it out till the end of field mark, or trying to push it out as far as he can so he has fresher tires than everybody else to possibly catch up. That might be it too.
Well, I'm not sure, but that leaves Alex Murray in second position, still technically down a lap.
Yeah, as Brian Tarnowski is a few laps down.
Maybe he had an extended pit stop, that's for sure, because everybody else is just 1 down. Brian's down 2. It's a good observation there.
As we're working on lap 50 of 276, not 276.
267. That's okay. We love dyslexia. Let's see. Deb Harris asking us if we've ever been to Vermont. I have not. I have not gone to the land of Bernie Sanders now.
I have not either. I haven't done a lot
Apparently
of
there's a couple of towns that aren't even 2 blocks. Maybe it's the kind of place I should at least go explore once. I know a friend of mine who he used to be a ski instructor in Stowe, Vermont, which is a big ski town up there. I think they get more snow than like almost everybody in the United States.
Probably. Still not coming down pit lane. I'm curious on what their plan will be. As like we said, everybody else has came down pit lane around lap 43, and the 0-2 car is still out here. I'm curious to pull him into the booth possibly once the stage is over. What do you think? Yeah, and something that these drivers that are down one lap, they don't want to see a caution because, yeah, that'll get them around the pace car. Actually, probably not with that car getting their lap back. If a caution were to come out, that would allow the 0-2 car to be able to pit and stay at least in second place.
Without a doubt. And as we're going to take a look here at our schedule laying ahead, of course, we're here in the round of 8. We're here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As we mentioned a little bit ago, the Cup Series is going to go to Miami next Sunday. Unfortunately, we will not be on the air for that. However, and then the round of 8 is going to conclude for the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway. Going to be a long night there, 500 lappers around the paperclip. Coming into tonight, Alex Murray leads in the point standings. He's got 9 wins on the season, so plenty of bonus points to transfer over, even if he doesn't win in this round of 3, or in this round of 8. RJ Root coming in with 5 wins on the season. He's already up 4 positions since last week, so he's made a major jump. Brandon Edstrom, Jacob Schneider, Jeremy Miller, Tanner Marty, Ryan Samuelson, and Sean Rogers are up here in your round of 8. And as we look through the field, Schneider out here trying to get as much as he can out of that, as he's there in 3rd position, tied for 3rd with Brandon Edstrom. So it's kind of an interesting look there, as he's still hoping for a caution, it seems.
Why do I have a feeling he might be trying to push to lap 80? Do you think they could make it to lap 80?
Without asking somebody who's got their telemetry up, I could not tell you without sounding like a complete goof. It just seems like right now, I mean, he's still running. His best lap was a 30.28. He's running his last lap was 30.99.
Yeah, no. So, if he does pit now, he'll be coming back out on, I believe, he'll be not a lap down if I'm correct. Because he has about a 30-second gap between him and Raymond.
See if we can pull up some lap times here. As you can all take a look at everybody's last lap time. You can see those best times right here on the left side of your screen. So we get those laps up there.
Yeah, 30s across the board besides Snyder, but Snyder's also on. Snyder's also on those old tires, about 60 lap old tires. Can't believe it's already 60 laps into this race here tonight. But wow, I seriously am wondering what's gonna be going through his mind as Jeremy Miller back on the lead lap, working the
RJ and Jeremy just passed Schneider, and Schneider here in the 0-2 started from the pole position, and it looks like he's going to be holding on to that for dear life, as maybe in his mind, yes, he can make it that full 80 laps here coming up to the stage break, as now he's got to be considering he's got 20 laps for Miller and RJ to get behind him again, as he's playing a dangerous game. Once you let those 2 drivers back around you, it's only a matter of time before you wind up a lap down by accident.
Oh yeah, 100%, but still running subpar under. He's running 31s as well as 30.9. So he is not actually running that bad right now with how old those tires are.
No, he's definitely figured out how to make those tires last, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on him, as we've got some battles around the racetrack to take a look at here. We'll get right back here to Cody Colley as this little 3-car pack with Ryan Samuelson, Cody Colley, and Sean Rogers running together. It looks like Colley just perfectly happy, hitting his marks, running his race. Nobody's really beating the bejesus out of their car. Alex Murray, on the other hand, here in the double deuce, he's trying to hold off Brandon Edstrom right now, as they're just about to be nose to tail.
Narski getting loose going through turns 1 and 2. I saw that back end get out a little bit. A lot of these cars are loose here tonight.
Well, the last I knew, if you're loose, you're fast.
Hey, that is true, but if you're loose, you might crash.
Well, something that we've seen several times here over the last, number of weeks is the way that these drivers boogie around these racetracks here in the Cup Series. I mean, even if we look to last week, which was over at the, well, we can't look at the Roval because that's that doesn't have cautions, but we only had 4 cautions at Talladega. And keep in mind that 2 of those cautions are for stage breaks. Then 7 cautions at Texas Motor Speedway, so 5 for cause there at Texas.
And Snyder is down pit road.
And there goes Schneider. That's
So
an interesting
62
choice.
laps, maybe 62 laps on the fuel tank is what we're looking about right now. That is actually a pretty decent amount of laps.
Well, we'll have to see where he falls to as he's tumbling through the standings as Schneider comes back out.
In 8th place, not too bad, only about 9-10 seconds behind Miller. So that's not bad, but he does have work to do.
Yeah, a lot of work as he gets ready to claw his way back up, and it's going to extend his ability. Whoa, that was, I think. Well, that was definitely a Code Brown moment, that's for sure. Trying to see who that was that just kissed the wall a little bit.
56 of Colley, I think it was.
Nope, that was Ron Fitting. Ron Fitting kissing the wall just a little bit here, as Schneider was able to see that in his windshield. So an interesting look there for Fitting as he's already down a lap. So right now your lucky dog would be Brian Tarnowski. He's just trying to get through these next 16 laps to get to the stage break and that caution so he can be the lucky dog moving forward.
And can I mention, Snyder coming down pit lane at lap 63. I feel like I know what his strategy is. He came down later, about 20 laps later than what the rest of the field did. Actually, about 20 laps exactly after. He's on a fresh pair of shoes. He has plenty of time in these 16 laps as the number 80 car clobbers that wall.
Yeah, that's Mark Johnston, and I'm not sure what brought that on for him, as he's usually pretty steady here out of Newell, North Carolina. So he may be battling a pretty tough race car. Let's see if we can go ride along with him here.
As Snyder's back up in 6th, but that must be a lot of damage to that number 80 car. He slammed that wall pretty hard, is what from we saw.
Well, you can see the way that he's getting off the throttle here. He's battling a very loose race car. We'll see him come down the Nellis backstretch as he's going to take it in low. You can see him kind of having to turn right to stay going left. He's definitely battling a loose race car.
Oh yeah, 100%. But Snyder, what I felt like he is doing, he's on those fresh shoes. So everybody's about 20 laps older tires than him. I have a feeling in these about 12 laps till stage end, he's probably going to catch everybody.
Kavaja Holt showing up as crashed. We're going to take a look here and see what's going on with Kavaja. As he is on pit road, let's run back and see what it is. He was running all by his lonesome here.
Possible case of getting loose, possibly? Ooh.
Very loose. That whole rear end wouldn't stop rotating. He couldn't catch it. Let's see if he caught it. Oh, he did catch it just in time.
Goes out, so there's no caution.
I'll tell you what, that's some heads-up driving right there for Kavaja, because that could have brought out that caution at one of the most awkward times possible. As you had just mentioned, Jacob Schneider now up to 6th position after coming in to pit. Now he's still quite a distance, about 5 seconds behind our leader, 5.78 seconds to be specific.
But
and
he's
Mark Johnston stepping off track as well. We'll see what happened here with him.
But he's also running a 30.13 right now, as everybody else is running about 35, 38. So he's,
That's Mark Johnston doing some landscaping here on the infield.
That landscaper's going to have a fun job after this race. I would not want to be a landscaper at a racetrack. Your opinions?
A lot of that infield grass is very soft. It's almost like loam there on the bottom. And the one thing is, it can, in real life, and I'm not sure how it is now with the new damage model on the iRacing.com Cup Series cars, but a lot of that soft, loamy stuff there on the infield can rip off the front splitter. And, of course, on these Cup cars, it can really do some damage to that rear diffuser as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know at like Daytona, when the cars ran there, when one of those cars got in there, it just collapsed. Like you mentioned, that whole front bumper was gone. As Snyder, still in 5th place, he is actually moving and grooving here. But new race leader, the 21 of
Pisciotta.
New race leader, I say, right?
He is.
Raymond is back in 6th place.
Derek Heitman giving us a heads up here in our youtube.com live chat that the pit window is 60 to 62 laps. So obviously Schneider squeezing every drop of fuel out of that fuel cell that he could. That's going to give him a little bit of an edge here going into the twilight of the race once we hit stage 3, as we're about 7 laps here from the conclusion of stage 1, and he's still making hay, plowing forward as he's in 5th position right now, about 2.3 seconds behind Brandon Edstrom. So obviously Schneider built for the long run. Joe Pisciotta, though, he is only separated by 1/4 of a second from 4th position, so it's going to be an interesting battle here coming to the end of stage number 1.
Oh yeah, 100%. As Snyder is, it's gonna be good to see how, if he catches them in these short laps. He's been rocking and rolling. He went from about, what was it, a 10-second gap down to about, you said 4 or 5 seconds?
Yeah, he's currently down, let's see here. Now Schneider is 1.87 seconds away from Pisciotta, so he is closing in fast with 5 to go.
Oh yeah, so he's gained about 8 seconds in these last closing about 18, 16 laps, I think it's been. So he is running that car pretty hard right now.
Well, you know, and I've seen this multiple times in my career, both on track and here in the booth, that there's a lot of drivers who, you know, they're out there and they're logging laps and they're all alone. Sometimes it seems like they get bored running alone out front, so it's time to come in and pit just so they have some traffic to race around. Because, I mean, I can't speak from experience because I've never won anything in a league race, but in my early days on iRacing, when I was winning some in the public forums, it started to get boring if I was alone up there.
Oh yeah, I have one record win in 3 wide bumper fender Snyder into the wall. Oh my god, that was cool.
We're going to take a run back and look at that real quick, as what a situation to get themselves out of. As we're going to go right here to the blimp cam, we see Brandon Edstrom going 3 wide. All of a sudden, that's the 0-2 of Jacob Schneider here on the high side. Schneider gets forced out to the wall and sorts out the 3 wide, but Edstrom had to be code brown for sure.
Well, when we look back at that, looked like when he took the air off that rear spoiler going around him like that, I saw a little wiggle in between Edstrom, possibly because he took all the air off of that rear end of that 74.
Absolutely. Jacob Schneider, your race leader, once again, has climbed back up here on fresh tires with 2 to go now in stage number 1, and has already put a half second behind himself and Joe Pisciotta. So obviously, Schneider has figured out how to go down a lap, come all the way back, well, not even down a lap, but coming back out 8th, and crawl up those next 7 positions to come back to the lead. So obviously that Ryko setup paying dividends for him tonight.
Oh yeah, 100%, and I kind of saw this coming from how fast he's been running here tonight, and how he did his pit strategy. Definitely an interesting pit strategy as we're closing out this first stage. Can't believe it's already 80 laps, as I believe Schneider and Pisciotta and Murray is going to be your top 3 driver. Murray, not Murray. I'm sorry.
We learn how to, as stage 1 comes to a completion, Jacob Schneider gets the green and white checkered flag, captures that, followed by Joe Pisciotta, Alex Murray, Brandon Edstrom, Jeremy Miller, Ryan Samuelson, RJ Root, Cody Colley, Sean Rogers, and Tanner Marty rounding out your top 10, as those drivers will be awarded playoff bonus points that will absolutely help them as we've gotten here into the twilight of our 2023 season. We're going to pull up Jacob Schneider here.
You got him for you.
Let's see where he's... You got him?
Yeah. Jacob, this is Emily and Dave in the booth. You got a copy.
I sure do. How's it going, guys?
Good. You crazy stage win. Going, pitting at lap 63, then going down to 8th position and going back up to 1st. What was going through your mind, and what did you think? Was it possible to get back up here?
Honestly, I stayed out so long just hoping for a yellow to trap everyone a lap down, and when that didn't work out, I figured the best I was going to get was like 7th or 8th. I'm really surprised it worked out the way it did, but I'll take it.
Well, yeah, compared to you being on 20 lap fresher tires than the whole field, kind of saw it coming, not gonna lie. Dave, you got anything for him?
No, I'll tell you what, Jacob. I mean, as you've come into this race tonight, what are you thinking about as we get ready to move deeper into this round of 8?
Kind of risk assessment, like winning the race advances, but I know that there's at least one position that'll advance on points, so, racking up stage points in each stage and then finishing well. Don't have to win, but so far, going pretty good.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, Jacob, we appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the way as you're going to get in, get some fuel, a couple more tires there, and get yourself all set up.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, and that was Jacob Snyder, number 02 car, coming home in first place for that first stage. And give me 1 minute while I get him back to his home. There we go. Alrighty, as Pisciotta, I'm just gonna say the 21 car makes it off pit lane, beats off Snyder in pit, or pits later.
And as promised here in the bottom of your screen, going to be some new action tonight as our new graphics package allows. As right now, the Rangers and the Astros going at it in Houston. We'll be trying to keep you as quickly updated as you can, because we don't want you to turn off of YouTube.com. Joe Pisciotta, your new race leader, he's going to be followed by Jacob Schneider, Alex Murray, Brandon Edstrom, RJ Root, Cody Colley, Ryan Samuelson, Sean Rogers, Tanner Marty, and Jeremy Miller. Your top 10. Chris Claude just coming off of pit road, as it looks like he may get trapped down a lap.
Yeah, But as we're getting to lap 80, Chris kind of had a pit. Otherwise, he would have gotten down another lap anyways with pitting under green.
Well, it's going to be that kind of a night now.
Now Chris is on the lead lap. So we have 11 cars on the lead lap after 84 laps. We have in 12th place Tarnowski, the 28 car, 1 lap down, following Fitting, Johnston, Rodriguez, Ron, and Wilco, all 1 lap down. Then 2 cars out, so we have 11 on the lead lap and 17 drivers still out here.
Well, Emily, after seeing a nice long green flag run for stage number 1, we're going to come back for stage 2 here as they go side by side behind the iRacing.com pace car. And we're going to get a chance here in just a moment to see them go back green flag racing. And as the iRacing.com pace car going to bring us down the backstretch. We're going to get ready to turn it up here on Sim Racing Media. As all kinds of excitement ready to unfold here in stage number 2. Going to be Pisciota and Schneider, as Pisciota going to have control of the field here, opting for the low side, testing out that transition between the apron and the racing surface. The iRacing.com pace car coming through turn number 4, getting ready to make that hard left turn right here at the hash marks. As we get ready to enter the Geico restart zone, the man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. We're back underway. It's time to turn it up. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway as Dave Regal and Emily Urias bringing you all of the action here on Sim Racing Media. Cody Colley jumping out now to a 3-second lead over the rest of the field as he has obviously decided to pull away. It's very quiet out here around his car. As we look back through the field, Sean Rogers, Joe Pisciotta, your top three, as they're desperately trying to chase him down. Looks like Jacob Schneider just got swallowed up by the rest of the field, Em.
Yeah, did he come down and get tires or just fuel? Because if he didn't get tires, that's most likely why he might be, I don't know. But all I'm saying is, look at RJ Rue. He is in 5th place. Is he saving his tires? Is he saving his fuel?
He's saving something, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, but Schneider probably did not get a new set of shoes coming down pit lane for that stage break. Probably waiting till everybody comes down pit lane to get new shoes on that race car. I wouldn't be surprised because he did get, new tires 20 laps before that stage ends, so that would have just been wasting a set of tires, in my opinion. As Miller in 11th place must have fallen back. Interesting.
Jeremy Miller back in 11th place, and that's the last car on the lead lap. As I was looking to see here if I can manipulate these graphics anymore for our baseball game that's, of course, going on in the background over in Houston. Of course, tomorrow night we'll be following along with the Philadelphia Phillies as they're getting ready to host the 7-game series best of 7 starting here in South Philadelphia. Of course, I'm here along with Emily Urias in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Want to let everybody know that we're thankful for having you folks making us a part of your evening. As we are dueling in the desert tonight in the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series right here on Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, as battling between that number 74 car and the 29, if I said that correctly, I think 29? Yeah. 29 car battling out there between Snyder and Edstrom. 3-car battle for P7, 8, and 9. 2 wide between the 81 and 29 car. 29 car's kind of falling back.
Yeah, he's still up a net of 5 positions from where he had begun here in 11th, or I'm sorry, back in 16th. But as Tanner Marty running in 11th position, he's definitely fallen back from where he was. Cody Colley, though, serving everybody their lunches. He's now got a 3.5-second lead over Sean Rogers. You can see the way that this car is handling just perfectly coming down the Nellis straightaway as Rogers and Pisciotta, contact.
Ooh.
That's going to be Kenron into the wall as we stay green as Kenron is down here on the apron. Let's run this back and take a look as that was a hard hit.
I think he didn't even hit the safer barrier. I think he hit the cement barrier.
As we're going to see where that contact... Oh, no. There was no original contact. He had gotten loose and came right down in front of the 80.
No safer barrier on that part of the track. Cool.
Well,
that's something that you think the driver would be going to the hospital for that hard of a wreck.
Absolutely. Definitely at least a small trip to the infield care center. That's for sure.
Wow. As you mentioned, Colley, almost a 4-second gap, about a 3.5-second gap between Rogers and number 44 car, showing that he does have speed, but what I think some of these drivers are doing is saving those tires and not pushing the car.
See here as we've got Joe Pisciotta running in third, but don't look now. Chris Claude just clawed his way up into the top 5 as he's now up 11 positions here on lap 104. Chris decided that maybe he wanted to test out the limits of his Toyota as he has now gotten himself way up here into 4th, and that may be a casualty of how of what happened as he was able to get around RJ and Alex Murray, getting himself up there. That was back on lap 98. So let's see if we can run this back and see if he was just getting positions wholesale. As we can see RJ here on the low side in the 69. As Chris just muscled his way past RJ. It was just a really good move.
Yeah, and Chris has been hanging back out in the back of the field, just riding it out with everybody. Something that, honestly, I would do, especially with 267 laps here at Vegas. You don't really need to be up front for the first at least 150.
No, I absolutely agree. And this is one of those times where you just need to be, cognizant of what's going on. And obviously a heads-up play there by Chris as he's now behind RJ once again in 5th position as RJ just got past him once again. RJ maybe setting his sights on the race lead as down there in Houston right now, it looks like a runner on 2nd and 1 out.
Yeah,
as things have just changed a whole lot, looks like they're going to send a runner back to 1st.
Looks like Chris Quad is back in 7th now. Huh. 8th place. Wonder why Chris has fallen back so far. He's back in 9th now.
We'll have to check in with Chris later as Cody Colley right now, his lead's starting to evaporate slowly but surely as we're headed deeper into this race. Of course, stage 2 going to be ending at lap 165. So still plenty of time now. Of course, we just mentioned a little bit ago that fuel window going to be somewhere in and around 60 to 62 laps. We saw one driver take it all the way to the edge, and that was, of course, Jacob Schneider here in the 0-2 as he leads this little pack here of Alex Murray, Jeremy Miller, and Brandon Edstrom down the back straightaway. As, here's the thing. He was able to take this lead and do a little something with it. And now we've gotten to the point at this stage in the race where he's now looking at maybe he can squeeze out to lap 140 as he was obviously able to, save those tires for that full fuel run.
Oh, yeah. As, like you mentioned, Schneider back up into 5th. I feel like he's not pushing as hard as he was for this first stage. He probably won't till that, till the next stage. As he is battling the 22nd car and 80 car, almost 3 wide between the 80, 22, and 02 of Snyder battling out there. And that 80 car is a lap down, so they're fighting a lap car right now.
Well, and, getting around the lap cars, and I've been said lap car many, many times, but getting around those lap cars always kind of hard to do, especially when you're on the lead lap. You're just trying to keep your equipment safe. Being the lapped car, though, is just as difficult because you don't want to be out there ruining anybody else's night. And, we're at a stage right now where we don't need anything else bad happening, so to speak.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially the 80 car is probably just trying to get out of the way of these drivers and probably just wait for this stage to end to be able to possibly work to get that lap back.
Absolutely. And right now, while we're here on lap 112, we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, she's Emily Urias, and this is Sim Racing Media.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing. Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Dave Regal and Emily Urias in the Sim Racing Media Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Want to thank everybody for making us a part of your evening as we're working lap 121 on our way to 165 for the conclusion of stage number 2. Right now, Cody Colley, your race leader, who had a 3-second lead at the beginning of this stage, has now watched that lead slowly dry up like a drop of water in the desert. Coincidentally enough, as where we are, as Cody right now has about 0.8 of a second over Sean Rogers, and then Joe Pisciota back another 1.5 seconds from Rogers. So kind of an interesting beginning to that stage here. But Emily, we've been watching a pretty good battle all night long. It's not like there's been anything quiet happening.
Yeah, no, it has been a battle from start to finish, and that's how SNN rolls, really. Doesn't matter if we're lap 1 or lap 130. Lap 200. These drivers know how to bring the action to the track, and they do it week in and week out.
Absolutely. Watching this battle right now between RJ Root and Alex Murray. Alex Murray in the double deuce starting to sniff that rear bumper as we head on in here to what will be the bottom of the second inning out in Houston. Big night for baseball, of course, as the playoffs underway.
Yes, sir.
So we're all kinds of excited. Or at least I am. As wow,
RJ
look at
getting loose.
RJ got loose. Alex Murray has now overtaken 4th position.
Ooh.
As he's now going to be chasing down Joe Pisciota by about 0.8 of a second.
So, this reminds me of what happened earlier with the 69 car. He got loose, and that lost him the lead. Is that a repeat of what we're seeing from earlier, possibly?
It may be what caused him to give up that lead earlier, as right now Murray starting to put some distance between himself and RJ. Looks like all of a sudden Brandon Edstrom passing RJ. As RJ has entered pit lane, we're going to see what happened here. As RJ, after being passed by the double deuce of Alex Murray, decides to haul it on down pit road. Maybe a little frustrating moment there as he's in. And it may just simply be, hey, this is the end of that tire window, and maybe if he gets in here early enough, he can wind up putting some time here. As Cody Colley comes down pit road, that's going to cycle he and RJ Root back to the top of the field eventually.
Oh, yeah. RJ is the fast car. Remember, he led 60 laps of the start of this race as battling for between the 56 and 44 car. 56 looking to come down pit lane. Probably also pissed off from a lot of these drivers here right now. It is around that window, about 40 laps on these tires, about 40, 43 laps. Probably 47 actually. So they're probably gone a little bit longer what they did last time. So it's interesting to see if Snyder will actually come down pit lane early or might wait like he did last time. It might work out for him again, possibly.
Absolutely. Sean Rogers, now your race leader. He leads Joe Pisciota and Alex Murray. So 1, 2, 3, the 44, the 21, and the double deuce. As just one Chevrolet Camaro out here in your top 7. Next Camaro going to belong to Brian Tarnowski as he is down pit lane. Has not come down pit lane, I'm sorry. As he was last down on lap 82. So right now, Tarnowski is your lead, is your lucky dog. So again, Emily, we see a lot of changing. We see a lot of moving around here as far as positioning goes. And many of these drivers we're starting to see some of their strategies.
Oh yeah, as that 44 car of Rogers coming down pit lane, like I said, a lot of these drivers are about to start coming down pit lane, working on lap 130. So we're about 50 laps till about, what, 56 laps, you said? About 56 laps till stage end, so realistically, we might have another possible green flag pit stop, depending on if these drivers choose to push these tires out for another 56 laps.
Without a doubt, as Joe Pisciotta works his way through the tri-oval, Cody Colley, R.J. Root, Tanner Marty, Chris Claude, Rafael Rodriguez, Ron Fitting, Mark Johnson, and Ken Ron all down pit road. That leaves just 6 drivers, 7 including Tarnowski, staying out. And Tarnowski right now hoping for a caution, maybe somebody on cold tires to make a mistake. As you know, for his sake, I sure hope so. I'd like to see Brian Tarnowski back here on the lead lap.
Yeah, but Brian Tarnowski's in 7th, so he is the lead of these lap cars down. So if a caution comes out, he gets the lap back. And that's probably what he's hoping for.
That would be paramount for him, so he's definitely hoping for the caution flag to fly. As we're working lap 132, about 35 to go now in stage number 2. So these drivers will have enough fuel and tires to get to the end of this stage. It's going to make things pretty interesting, as it looks like Pisciotta, Murray, Schneider, Edstrom, Miller, and Samuelson all going to stick it out together, as there's about 3.5 seconds behind Samuelson, between Samuelson and Pisciotta. Now, keep in mind that also that 3.5 seconds between Samuelson and Pisciotta, that's the same distance that Cody Colley at one point had between himself and the rest of the field. So still a lot of time left as we're looking at some of these lap times. John Wilco coming back down onto pit road. But, best time for Joe Pisciotta, 29.97. His last lap was a 30.95. So a lot of drivers, including Edstrom and Miller, laying down that 29.97. The fastest lap here so far, 29.93. That's Jacob Schneider, our longtime leader there in stage number 1.
Yeah, as 6 cars on the lead lap. Curious to see, we're working lap 134. That they're about 50 laps on this run since about lap 85. So they're getting close to having to pit. And I have a feeling I know what some of these drivers are doing. They're probably trying to pull the move that Schneider did, was wait till 63 pit, then have 20 lap newer tires than the rest of the field roughly, and push it to the front. Battling 69 car of Root catching up to the 81 of Samuelson. We're trying to work hard to get his lap back after pitting. So it's going to be good to see some of these drivers try to get their laps back. But he still has a way to make it, as 81 car rolling. Curious to see if he comes down 4 seconds back from Pisciotta. So battle out right now between the Alrighty. If looks to be battling up there between, I think, the 02 of Schneider. Can you switch the car? I can't really talk much about this by himself, but still, Samuelson's still chilling in 5th place. We're working on lap 138, so pissed off from everybody, as Murray and Piscodia, the 21 and 22 coming down pit lane, leaving Snyder and Samuelson, the only two cars that have not pitted yet. So, that leaves it. Will Schneider wait, come down pit lane like he did last time?
Yep, Schneider deciding that he's going to try to hold on once again here as I was just sitting here programming some new hotkeys into the old Stream Deck. And folks, if you ever get a chance and you have a sudden desire to get a Stream Deck, absolutely do it.
And how much are those?
They're not expensive. It's like $179, and whether you're
not that expensive.
whether you're a driver or a broadcaster, the Stream Deck will save the bejesus out of you. As I'm one of these people that I love to have my toys here. As we're taking a look right now at Jacob Schneider, Ryan Samuelson running in second position, about 4.5 seconds behind Schneider. As we've got about 25 to go, 25 this time by to go. Cody Colley going to be running in third position, RJ Root in fourth, as RJ working his way past Jacob Schneider, getting his lap back the good old-fashioned way. So now 4 cars on the lead lap. That's going to make it difficult when Schneider does eventually come down pit road.
Yeah, and we might see Snyder come down pit road this time, or in at least 2 more laps, because, like you said, he's getting to that 26 lap mark, almost down to 2020. On about 6 laps, you might see him come down, like he did last time, where they'll give him 20 laps fresher tires with most of the field, and it might work best for him.
Good old refill here in the old vape, as it looks like it's still going to be just 4 cars here on the lead lap. Jeremy Miller starting to sniff his way closer and closer to Schneider.
Yeah, and Colley and Root is back on the lead lap, so they will be scored on the lead lap when the stage end comes out. Now, if Snyder can still make it on the lead lap when he pits, he is going to be golden.
Oh, absolutely. And, if Schneider's going to do that, now is going to be kind of the magic hour for him. As it looks like Jeremy Miller not going to be able to get up there before he comes down. And we've seen some really great racing tonight. I mean, overall, the fact of the matter is we've had no cautions, a couple of close calls, if you will. But, here's the thing. Here in the SNN League, they first off pride themselves on following the IPL, or the incidents per lap. And if you get above 0.1 incidents per lap, which is basically, 4 incidents per 100 laps, or 4 incident points per 100 laps, that's when, they say to you, okay, now it's going to be, you're going to serve a penalty. In this league, they pride themselves on safe driving. We've already gone hundreds of laps in a row in the Xfinity Series across multiple races, where they've had no cautions. And I sit here, staring at my screen thinking, and now what? And, here we are again doing it in the Cup Series, which, is, of course, highly competitive. Some prizes on the line. Folks, you saw the butt kicker ad a little bit ago, as Ryan Samuelson coming down pit road now. That's not going to leave a whole lot of room for Schneider to want to stay out.
Yeah, as we're looking up 146, we're about, I say, 58, almost hitting that field run mark where Schneider's going to have to pitch soon. Like I said, Schneider comes down pit lane lap 147.
Not close enough.
I have a feeling He is hitting about 11 seconds, gaining right now, 11 seconds behind the field. I don't think it's going to be like the last time. He's about 12 seconds. He has about 22 laps, not 22 laps. What am I thinking? Yeah, 22 laps, roughly. Maybe about 27? 165, right?
Yeah, 165, so we're just about 15 laps away. We're 17 now. Cody Colley, your new race leader, as he cycles back to the lead. He's got about 2 seconds over top of RJ Root, just about 2 seconds even. Jeremy Miller, whoa, just punted. My goodness. We're going to take a look back here and see what happened. As my goodness, let's watch Jeremy Miller here in the number 30, following RJ Root out of turn number 4. And RJ gets loose. Maybe all of a sudden Miller doesn't hit him, but there was obviously just enough bad air there to send RJ into the wall. That's definitely gonna slow RJ down as he's gonna come down pit road.
Yeah, as Snyder coming down to almost 9.5 seconds from moving up to 7th place, passing RJ Root, because Root is coming down pit lane to get some of that damage fixed and hopefully make it back out here. All I'm saying is, Schneider has a game plan down. He is 9.5 seconds from that leader of 56 of Colley. I have a feeling that we might see a repeat of what happened during the first stage.
Absolutely, and Joe Pisciota now chasing down Alex Murray in the double deuce, as Murray watching the distance between himself and Pisciota start to evaporate as we go right down in here on these two drivers. This is the battle right now for third position here in stage 2 on lap 151. And just as we see Pisciota getting on that left rear, they go fender to fender, and now Pisciota hurls it down here into turn 3, while Murray's got a little bit of momentum here on the top side. He found a little bit of speed up there and is able to hold Pisciota off. We're going to keep it right here on Pisciota and Murray as they come down through the tri-oval and once again into 1 and 2. Looks like Murray's got a pretty good run as he's chosen that middle lane.
Yeah, as Murray is pulling from that number 21 Ford Mustang. Definitely some interesting battling right there for 3rd and 4th. I'm just saying, watch out for Snyder. He is under 8 seconds now. Last time we looked, he was about 9, almost 10 seconds. He is gaining fast.
Absolutely. And, you know, Pisciota, looks like he's just going to be back here harassing Murray for the next several laps as we get ready to close out stage 2. Brandon Edstrom kind of in a good spot right now. He's got about 1.3 seconds up to Pisciota, 2.7, and now 2.8 seconds back to Sean Rogers. So he's nice and comfortable. Meanwhile, though, Schneider is starting to reel in Sean Rogers as Schneider's making his charge here. We saw it happen before. We may see it again as Sean Rogers is now running a 30.89, 30.96 to Jacob Schneider's 30.09, and everybody else in front of Schneider running slower. Looks like the slowest driver in front of him is Cody Colley at 30.78 seconds his last lap. So obviously we're getting into the witching hour now for Jacob Schneider to make another run at stage 2.
Yes, as Miller race leader 30. Colley's kind of fallen back. Now in 2nd place. Wonder what's going on with him.
Well, we'll have to see, as it looks like Jeremy Miller leads this piece. Alex Murray now sliding backwards, as you had just mentioned. Brandon Edstrom and Joe Pisciota starting to reel him in as we're getting deeper here. And Emily, this is one of those racetracks where almost anything is possible, and a lot of it has to do with the conditions on the racetrack. We keep watching that track temperature, and right now up to 88 degrees.
Yeah, and that, if y'all don't know, 88 degrees is kind of scorching. Now, there's times that I've seen the track hit 100. Now, when that track's 100, you're expecting to slide all over that racetrack. As a 21 and 22 car battling it out right now for that 3rd and or 4th position, trying to push it for these last 8 laps about. trying to
They
make
got to
a
look
move.
out because, wow, what a run Murray had as he comes right up on the bumper of Cody Colley. Colley just moved out of the way as if he was hit by a V-plow from PennDOT. Now Murray working 3 wide. He's the meat in that sandwich with Chris Claude going down another lap as he's still holding on to that lucky dog position. Chris Claude hoping that he can hold on these next 7 laps to end stage 2 as the lucky dog. I'll tell you what, Emily, things are starting to really heat up, and we're only in stage 2.
Yeah, stage 2. Working on lap 158. A lot of battling going on. I feel like there's a lot more battling happening right now than there was close to the end of last stage, don't we think?
Without a doubt. I mean, Pisciota is really trying to get around Alex Murray. We have the battle box here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and I'll tell you what, it's starting to really develop well here.
Yeah, as Snyder's working 5 seconds, catching up to 5th place, and Colley. But still battling between that 21 and 22 car, not giving up any room whatsoever. Saying, I'm still on this back bumper and I'm not going to let go.
No, he's definitely, in hockey, we would say that he's pestering him, as now they've got to get around Ron Fitting. Fitting holds that low line, and that opens the door for Pisciota to finally shoot the middle here and get around Alex Murray. So using Fitting as kind of a pick, that forces Murray up to the high side and allows them to get through there.
Yeah, as don't look now, Schneider, 4th position.
We're going to see this once again here as Schneider and, here it is, Pisciota and Murray. And we're going to set this up just like so. We see Ron Fitting. He's trying to get as low as possible because he sees these lead lap cars coming like hell. And all of a sudden, it looks like Murray got a little bit loose, and we didn't see that before, getting around Ron Fitting.
Oh yeah, as battling out, Miller is pulling a 2-second gap though from everybody with 3 laps to go. I don't think Snyder can do it. He might be able to, but I think he pitted way too late.
Well, we're going to see, because Schneider, he's only got a few laps to go here. I think you may be right. He doesn't have enough. Ron Fitting, that's Rafael Rodriguez in the 80, and Mark Johnston trying to stay away, as maybe they did just use a little bit too much, as the 0-2 of Schneider now getting ready to nose Alex Murray out of the way and take away that position. We'll have to take a run back and look at that, because that was awful close, as Joe Pisciota has sole possession of 2nd right now. They're coming hot and heavy behind him.
Yeah, but I don't know. That is a 2-second gap from Miller that he's going to have to pick up in this short time.
Yeah, Schneider may not have enough, but now it looks like Schneider, rubs the wall here on lap 164. He is really working hard, as Pisciota lets him slither past. Jeremy Miller, though, he has a 1.5 second lead over Jacob Schneider. So I don't think there's enough, as we're on the final lap of stage number 2. We've been burning through this race. No cautions for cause yet. That's a good sign. But that's also going to mean that the heat's going to be turned way, way up coming into stage number 3.
Yes, sir. As that will lead us with almost 100 laps that will be left with no cautions unless cautions arise due to wrecks. 100 laps. They can go 60 as Murray, not Murray. I don't know why I keep on saying that. Murray is your stage winner.
Jeremy Miller, your stage 2 winner, as looks like Jeremy Miller leads Jacob Schneider, Joe Pisciota, Alex Murray, Brandon Edstrom, Cody Colley, Ryan Samuelson, Sean Rogers, Tanner Marty, and Chris Claude, your top 10. So for the second time tonight, we see the stage end with no cautions except for the stage competition caution, as that's pretty impressive, all things considered. we'll see what happens here as we get ready for stage 3. But right now we want to try to get a hold of Jeremy Miller. Let's see if I can pull him down here. Hey, Jeremy, it's Dave and Emily up in the broadcast booth. You got us?
10-4.
Hey, Jeremy, listen, great run here in stage 2. Obviously able to hold off the powerful Jacob Schneider and Joe Pisciota. I mean, Burlington, New Jersey's got to be proud of you. What do you want to credit right now for getting this green and white checkered flag?
Yeah, I mean, Jacob came up with a pretty great strategy in the first stage and won it, and I just, decided to do a little variation of it, see if it was a little faster in the way he did it, and it was, because I was able to hold him off. So definitely credit to him for figuring out what he did in the first stage, and I was able to just take it and do a little better with it here, and was fortunate enough to hold on for the stage win.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, Prodigy is always really special here in this league, and I mean, usually you've got a pretty big cheering section with Deb Harris anchoring that. I mean, what are you looking forward to as we get ready to dive here into stage number 3?
Yeah, just gonna keep ourselves focused, try to, hope it goes green and we can pull another really good strategy here and get out of it with a really good finish.
Absolutely. Obviously, these 10 bonus points going to help your cause trying to transfer into the round of 4. So good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, thanks.
As wholesale pit stops from the whole field right now.
Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong. Were you up in field filler?
Head 4, yes.
All right, we're going to send you on back up into field filler. There he goes. It's Jeremy Miller, winner of the second stage here. There's a whole lot of stuff going on my screen right now.
Yes, sir. As Miller looks to possibly win it off pit road, or is put 21 Pisciota?
Pisciota stayed or got out just in time. It's still showing timing and scoring is trying to show him on pit road, but he's obviously not as he's out here.
Can I say, he has made it first off pit road every time so far during these cautions.
Obviously, that pit crew getting ready to go here into stage 3 with a lot of steam. As the lap car is going to now come down pit road, getting out of the way of the lead lap cars. That should make, though, Chris Claude, our lucky dog, come back around. As he, oh, nope, there he is, diving down pit road again. As we've got all kinds of action going on now that wholesale pit stops are underway. Want to welcome everybody in to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Emily Urias and Dave Riegel bringing you all of the action tonight as we're here on lap 169. Just a friendly reminder, again, that tomorrow night, if you want to hang out with me and possibly Emily, we'll be calling the A Lot Cleaner Property Management and Maintenance Xfinity Series right here at Las Vegas once again. Going to be exciting in the Xfinity Series. The Truck Series is off tonight, and next Sunday night and Monday night we will not be on the air, as Emily and I and a bunch of our kinfolk at Sim Racing Media will be actually down at Homestead, Miami for the race. So you can check out our YouTube pages. I'm sure that we'll be uploading videos all weekend long of our experience down there. And Emily, I'm looking forward to this trip.
Yes, I have not been able to sleep for at least last night. Like I mentioned to you earlier yesterday when I called a race yesterday, I was up for over a day. That was because I really couldn't sleep because I was thinking about, I have 3 days till I am heading to Miami. It's crazy. Last time I remember, well, I guess, last time I thought about it, I was about a month away. And now I'm about a day now. Because after tonight, it'll be Monday, and I'll be leaving Tuesday morning. So,
well, and it's funny. My decision to come to Miami was kind of a quick one, as Jonathan was here, of course, the one weekend about a month ago now. He had come because we were going up to the memorial service for our friend Tony Trapasso after he had passed away, and we were having a discussion, and it was finally imparted that I really needed to make the effort to go to Miami, and I think that that's the right choice. It's a place where we can all talk about our friend. We can talk about, the good times, the bad times. And to be honest, there really aren't a whole lot of bad times to talk about here on SRM. In fact, what we see as bad, everybody else sees as funny. And I'm excited to finally put some faces to names, as, all of us pretty much in the iRacing community, we know each other's voices, we know each other's car schemes, so on and so forth. As just before we continue this conversation, it looks like the iRacing.com pace car about to dive down pit road as it makes the hard left turn. Right before the hash mark, Joe Pisciotta going to have control of the field. He enters the Geico restart zone. He's holding, he's away. The green flag flies, and this is stage number 3 right here on SRM. And to continue that thought, the iRacing community is one where many of us know paint schemes and voices, but not so much, personalities and physical people. I've been fortunate over the last couple of years. Of course, I used to work with Bob Nestor, former driver here in SNN Cup Series action and the 2021 Truck Series champion. And, of course, John Bawalda, who is the chief cook and bottle washer over at Jack Dow Simulators and Esports, which of course sponsors the Truck Series here on a Tuesday night. So, I've obviously gotten to know them over the years, and John when he stopped in. But, this is kind of the pinnacle of our relationship as a team here at Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, and when Liam, I believe it was, during the NASCAR truck race, when it came to Knoxville, Iowa, for the Knoxville Raceway. I don't know if anybody remembers, the Truck Series went to Knoxville Raceway. That was my hometown and will always be in my heart. I actually got to meet one of the SRM members of Liam. So that was a fun night that we had. So.
Absolutely, and this is going to be several nights, of course. You'll be driving down, I'll be flying down. It's, it's one of those times where I'm anxious about, getting through the travel, getting through, everything that it takes just to get to Florida. And then, of course, having some good times with all of our friends. And it's something really important. And folks, although that some of you may not understand, as Alex Murray starting to sniff that rear bumper of Joe Pisciotta, it goes Pisciotta, Murray, and Miller, your top 3. Some folks may not be understanding when it comes to what we go through here as friends and teammates, at SRM. But after the last couple of months that we've had here without Tony Trapasso, this is going to be a very much needed weekend to blow off some steam and maybe get ourselves relaxed and reset as, some of us deal with things in everyday life that sometimes it's better just to sit down with some friends and talk it over.
Oh yeah, and one thing that got me to make the decision to go to Miami was I get to meet Tony. But now for Tony, I'm going to Miami, and I'm gonna hopefully I can sit next to him as he watches the races with us.
Believe me, Tony sits alongside of me every night, and it's tough to sit here in his seat knowing that this was his league to call for several months out of this season, and it still is hard to think about.
Yeah, I still remember checking my messages that morning and saying, no, that can't be right. Wake up. But
I was sitting at my desk. And I saw something pop up as a notification on my phone, and I just, a lot of times, and believe me, folks, when you get as many messages as we do on Discord here at Sim Racing Media, sometimes you wait until later in the day to look at all of them, or sometimes it's not even until I sit down on my computer at night when I look through my messages. And I saw it, and it popped up, and I was on the phone with Frank Marchese in minutes. All of a sudden, it just felt like the whole world had lit on fire.
Yeah, that was the same for me. That morning. Yeah, it was that morning. I actually left work a little bit early because it wasn't really a good day for me. I left work about, I think it was what, 2:30 a.m. Then I ended up actually hitting a deer that morning. So yeah, no, my day was already like meh. So once I found that out, I just like collapsed on my bed and just did not get up for a good 3 days. So
As we run here, trying not to be as melancholy as we can be, Pisciota, Murray, and Rogers, here's the thing. We don't, more often than not, we don't get to share feelings and thoughts in the real world or in the digital world the way that we'd like to. And whoa, a little bit of contact back here. We see Brian Tarnowski. Oh, sideways. This is going to bring out the first caution of the night. Oh, my. We're going to have to run this back and take a look and see what happened with Brian. As suddenly my computer has just bogged itself down to death. As we're going to see Brian coming down the backstretch. He's got John Wilco over top of him, and that's Mark Johnston on the bottom. Wilco takes it 3 wide on the high side. And, together. My goodness.
That 80 car has had a rough night tonight.
I'm just going to run this back real quick here and see what may or may not have happened. One more time here. We'll see if we can get a good look at it from turn 4. As we're going to see this again unfold. I'm going to try once again. This is probably the hardest part of my job here in the production booth. It's trying to get that perfect click. There we go. That perfect camera angle, so to speak. And you can just see them just before the flag stand. And obviously the flagman quick reaches down and grabs a hold of that yellow flag. And we have our first caution for cause here on lap 182.
Crazy to think we are on lap 182 out of 267. Feels like we just waved the green flag to this race like 10 minutes ago.
It looks like a lot of things went wrong overall, but it sounds like race control going to deem that a racing incident, as the 62 was on the high side and maybe a little bit of bad air on Brian Tarnowski. And something that Dale Jr. talked about early on in the NBC broadcast today was the dirty air. If you've got a rough handling race car and you fall further back in the pack, that dirty air is going to make that rough handling car even harder to handle. And then, of course, if you've got a good handling car, once you're out in that clean air, you can be, driving a rocket ship, not a Ford.
Oh, yeah. As I just looked, Snyder's back in 10th place. Interesting.
Well, we're gonna. Schneider is not necessarily back anywhere. He's just reloading. Maybe he's going to try to stay out of the line of fire here as we move deeper into the race. Schneider has already proven that he's one of the fastest drivers on the track. As it's going to be Joe Pisciota, Alex Murray, Sean Rogers, Cody Colley, Jeremy Miller, Ryan Samuelson, Brandon Edstrom, Chris Claude, Tanner Marty, and Jacob Schneider, your top 10. John Wilco getting the lucky dog wave around. Going to be coming back out. He was last down on lap 167, as he will get the free pass when it's 1 to go. Or no, wait, no. Lucky dog, you get it at 2 to go, correct? It's been a long time since I've been the lucky dog.
2 to go, I believe. Yes. Yes, so
we should see him get the wave around this time.
Yes, and he will actually be able to come down pit lane as well with that wave around. So.
all kinds of weird stuff going around with timing and scoring, as now John Wilco going to be the last car on the lead lap, restarting in 11th position. Side by side goes Pisciotta and Murray. Pisciotta opting for the bottom. Sean Rogers going to be restarting in 3rd position with Cody Colley, Jeremy Miller rounding out your top 5 here in our first caution for cause. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. That means that we'll be going back green flag racing momentarily here. And folks, I want to welcome you into the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. And thank you for making us a part of your evening. As Dave Regal and Emily Arias bring you all of the action from Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight, Sin City. You know, I have to be honest, Emily, I've never really wanted to go to Vegas to gamble as much as I've wanted to see everything else that's there.
Yeah, see, there's one flaw in that about me going to Vegas. I can't gamble. I can't do any of that fun stuff. But we'll get back to this. As the pace car dives down, 21 car has that trigger and holds it, gets a decent lead in front of the other cars, but watch out, 21. You got a Hornet's Nest right behind you.
And angry Hornets they are, as Sean Rogers, Alex Murray, and Jeremy Miller are going to battle it out for 2nd position here. It looks like right now the victor of that going to go to Sean Rogers. He's going to bring along Jeremy Miller as they blow the doors off of Alex Murray. Murray falling back here into 4th position with Brandon Edstrom in tow. Ryan Samuelson going to go single file behind Brandon Edstrom, and it looks like just about everybody opting to go single file. Brian Tarnowski, who was just involved in what brought out that caution, he's still back up here, and he's going to be somewhere around the 2nd car a lap down. As Cody Colley, who came back around, he's 0.6 of a second. That's strange. That has to be an error. Cody Colley may have a connection issue, as I don't see him on the track. I guess that's one of the flaws to internet racing.
Yeah. Oh, Colley is back in 14th. Looks to be.
He's back in 14th, but he's not being scored right now, so he may have had himself a connection issue that booted him from the server. So unfortunately for him, that's going to cost him.
Yeah,
as Sean Rogers, who is that? That's the 80 car of Mark Johnston staying out of everyone's way. Looks like he's just a lot slower than everybody else as the field made their way past him. Sean Rogers, your new race leader here in the 44, leads Joe Pisciotta and Jeremy Miller, your top 3. But Jeremy Miller being pestered right now by Alex Murray in the double deuce.
Yeah, as like you mentioned, Jerry Miller back into 3rd, but watch out for the 60 car. They are a lap down, battling to get the lap back the old school way. As he passes Miller. So, watch out 60. He's going to try to get that lap back.
And get that lap back he will, as Sean Rogers going to lead this pack here on lap 189. We're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal. She's Emily Arias. And this is Sim Racing Media and Sunday Night NASCAR.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where right now Sean Rogers is being chased for the lead. And I'll tell you what, Emily, this is going to be one heck of a battle. Dave Regal and Emily Arias with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. Sean Rogers was just being challenged hot and heavy for the lead as Joe Pisciotta backed off quite a bit now to about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, as everybody is single file currently. Kind of interesting with having that caution. Not something that we expected, but single file everybody is right now. Not trying to make some moves, which is interesting. Maybe they're probably like, hey, we still got 67 laps, maybe chill.
That's definitely what I'm starting to feel here from these drivers as we look. It looks like everybody starting to prepare themselves for that money stop, as we're going to see in probably the next 10 laps or so. Brian Tarnowski here as the lucky dog, holding on for dear life as Rafael Rodriguez is about to be put a lap down, as he's 29.32 seconds behind our leader. But, here's the thing. We get to this stage in the race where now everybody knows what they've got under the car. And, do you have enough to try to claw in bulk, or do you want to pick one driver off at a time? And it seems like Alex Murray and Jeremy Miller are just kind of setting back here like a couple of lions in the weeds while the Gazelle has lunch up here in Sean Rogers.
Yeah, still single file line. I feel like they're, like you said, chilling out, might make a move once or twice, but definitely going to slow down with 67 laps to go. Reminder, they won't be able to make it till the very end. So we will possibly see a green flag pit stop from these drivers.
Now I'm back here where Brian Tarnowski is. I see my least favorite formation coming about. It's that diamond where we've got one car behind two of them. It's almost too tempting as Tarnowski now working his way around the 81 of Ryan Samuelson in that Hoka Ford Mustang. And, that finally sorts itself out. But Tarnowski seems like he wants to get his lap back the old-fashioned way, as right now Rafael Rodriguez just ahead of the rest of this pack, as Rodriguez not going to be able to hold on as he is off the pace by quite a bit. 30.79 seconds his last lap, while Sean Rogers was 30.1 seconds. We can pull up those lap times here on your on the timing tower.
Yeah, don't look now. 60 car of Rodriguez got his lap back the old-fashioned way.
He did, but he's still just not hanging on as well as he'd like to. Right now, Brian Tarnowski would love to see a caution come out so he can get his lap back, maybe get some fresh tires on there. The only thing is, if we went to a caution right now, that may be enough to have your money stop under caution, which could benefit a lot of these drivers, especially being able to save fuel under caution, as Rafael Rodriguez gets put down a lap by our race leader, Sean Rogers, in the 44. Meanwhile, the battle's starting to rage behind him. A little four-car breakaway here, led by Jeremy Miller, Joseph Pisciotta, and followed by Alex Murray and Brandon Edstrom, who now brings along Jacob Schneider in the 02. And believe me, Schneider, one of the drivers that you're going to be keeping an eye on throughout the remainder of this race, as he has been so strong all night long.
Yeah, Schneider sitting in 6th spot. Surprised he's not trying to make a move. But yeah, like you said, if there's a caution now, these drivers can make it exactly. So, but now, will they want to do 60 laps on a set of tire though? We know Schneider can do it, but can everybody else do it is the real question.
That is the real question, and we know Schneider can. You've really got this one pegged right now, Emily. It just seems like Schneider's going to be out here hanging around, seeing who he can harass going into the late stage of this race. And we talk about late stages, and I mean, we're getting ready in the next couple of weeks here to go through some interesting changes in our schedule. Of course, as I've mentioned, this coming Sunday, going to be at Homestead for 267 laps. Then the final week of the round of 8 going to be at the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. as they'll be battling it out for a grandfather clock. I got to figure a lot of these drivers hoping for that short track success, as we do have some short track whisperers in this league. And, we're at a stage right now where it just seems like the entire season is on the line.
Yeah, I mean, with us in round 8, race 1, it kind of is. Somebody might be getting eliminated today and or next week at Homestead. So these drivers do gotta, finish decent, otherwise it could go bad.
Chris Claude, one of the drivers eliminated coming into tonight from playoff contention, as he usually does make it into the round of 8, but this year it was just really hard to hold off some of these other drivers in the playoffs. And Chris, who I usually give the nomenclature Mr. Consistency, unable to keep it together, so to speak, as Sean Rogers leads this race. He's followed by Jeremy Miller, Joseph Pisciota, Alex Murray, and Brandon Edstrom, your top 5. And what a train of cars this is, all the way back to Ryan Samuelson. We're going to look here at our pit strategies real quick for the top 5. And you can see that entire top 5 has pitted on the same laps, with the exception of Sean Rogers, who came in on lap 39, to everybody else's 31 and 29. Everybody coming in on, right around lap 54, 56, somewhere in there. But everybody now having 28 laps on this set of tires, as Sean Rogers up 5 positions from where he had started.
Yeah, no, Rogers is actually killing it right now compared to the rest of the team. I mean, he was kind of running in the back for the first start of this, and he's showing that his car is fast enough to keep up with this.
Yeah, Rogers has absolutely, battled his way up here. I mean, to get through some of these cars has been quite a struggle. We see Tanner Marty, right now your biggest mover of the race. He's up 8 positions, running in 8th position. So after qualifying 16th, has really dug his way here into the top 10. He earned that spot for sure. Next biggest mover belongs to Chris Claude, who's up 6. He started in 15th, and 7th, John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania. He's running in 10th right now after starting 17th. So obviously a lot of these drivers thankful for the position that they're in, but there's still a lot more work to do.
Oh yeah, and as we're working lap 212 out of 267, getting close to, if these drivers want to pit, to know that they can make it. If they pit now, they'll be able to make it, but will they?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm one of those drivers where once I see, everybody around me coming in, I'm usually too dumb to come in when everybody else does. So I wind up getting hung out to dry.
Oh yeah, and I mean, theoretically, I have a feeling Snyder's gonna wait till like lap 240 to about 247. That gives it about 20 laps till stage end, and he might be able to do it if you piss lap 247.
Absolutely. Coming up here on lap 214, this time by Jeremy Miller, your race leader. Sean Rogers, your race leader. He's got Jeremy Miller and Joe Pisciota in tow. And again, these drivers here, they're just kind of waiting it out. And you almost wonder if they're waiting for Sean Rogers to burn up his equipment as we come here into the twilight of this race. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Cody Colley dropping into the youtube.com live feed as he explains that his power had gone out. So that's what caused him to drop at this point all the way back to 15th position, joining RJ Root, Ken Ron, Kavaja Holt, and Randall Watkins, putting it on the hauler early. Mark Johnston down on pit road still, as it looks like they haven't deemed him out just yet, as he's still getting pit service coming in here.
Yeah, still Rogers pulling about a half-second lead on everybody. Not doing too shabby. But following Miller, 21 of Pisciota. I'm never going to say that right, and I'm sorry for that.
Pisciota, as Pisciota has Alex Murray in tow. We're bouncing right between these exciting battles here as iRacing timing and scoring kind of on autopilot. As right now, just taking a look at it, top of the 5th inning in Houston, the Texas Rangers leading the Astros 1-0 as Justin Verlander on the bump tonight records himself another out.
I'm just gonna pretend like I know what you're saying.
Just trust me, I'm a doctor. But one out right now in the top of the 5th inning. Justin Verlander, of course, longtime Detroit Tiger, now having great success in Houston as he's trying to go back-to-back as a World Series champion. Of course, last year beating out my Philadelphia Phillies. Shawn Rogers starting to get reeled in now by Jeremy Miller, who's going to pass him almost like he's standing still. Jeremy Miller, our new race leader. We'll take a run back here and see just what happened, as Miller just had him pegged from the get-go. They come out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Miller making a quick decision to use all of that momentum and hurl himself around Rogers. And, you know, sometimes when you've got so much momentum built up, Emily, you can't avoid, you know, taking that next move.
Yeah, and that is same for, like, what is it? Blank space, right? For most of these tracks that are about a mile long, or even how big Vegas is, Auto Club, Texas, like when you get that run, you're gonna take it. That allows you to be able to possibly gain those positions, and whenever you get that run as the 21 and 44 are side by side, they're gonna go for it. Why not, right?
Well, yeah, and as I mentioned a minute ago, was this pack of cars behind Rogers waiting for him to burn his equipment up, and I'm afraid we may have gotten to that position now, as it looks like Rogers starting to hemorrhage spots as he's about to cede another one here to Joe Pisciotta, as they are side by side coming down through the tri-oval, and now Pisciotta having an edge as they go fender to fender coming through turn 2, and almost a little bump there from the 44. That wasn't very friendly.
Yeah, these drivers do need to be careful as they still have some laps to go. I mean, they are thinking about pushing it right now. They gotta be careful. They push it too early, they can burn out those tires. So, definitely gotta watch out for that.
Verlander allowing a home run off of Tavares. So now 2-0 Rangers over the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Door handle to door handle goes Jeremy Miller and Brandon Edstrom here in the 74 in the double deuce, as Joe Pisciotta trying to find his way through this. Oh my. If we're going to have one, this is going to be where it originates, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. As two-eyed battling between the 24 and 21 car, showing that I can make it.
Well, they almost went fender to fender as Brandon Edstrom backs off. That allows Jacob Schneider to come down here on the low side. There is next to no room between them as they can all but touch each other's hands through the window nets. This is a 6-car battle now, 3 wide with Brandon Edstrom in the middle. Looks like Jacob Schneider on the low side, the double deuce of Alex Murray on the high side. Edstrom makes contact with Shawn Rogers. Shawn Rogers, ooh, now sent into the wall. And he goes spinning around, and the caution comes out. Let's run that back and see what happened here. As we were just watching one of the greatest battles of this race, and what did I say? If we were going to have one, this is where it was going to be, and sure enough, there it is.
Yeah, that, when you get loose like that and your car turns upright, that is just a end of a race killer right there. It reminds me of when these first cars rolled out, right? If you did that slight little movement in the steering wheel, it'll just send you straight up into that wall, hitting at about 170 miles per hour.
Absolutely. Now, this comes at just about the perfect time, where here we are on lap 224 in stage number 3, and at this stage in the race, this is going to be the money stop, as most of these drivers going to be able to make the next 44 laps to the end.
Yeah, as drivers come down pit road, wholesale pit stop, Schneider coming down pit road as well. So they still have plenty of tires in pit road, so not really going to be stressing on if they have enough tires to finish this race and not blow out a tire.
for sure, as we're going to take one more look here at our track conditions. 86 degrees now, your track temperature, so things definitely starting to heat up, as sounds like maybe some hot tempers starting to flare down on pit road as I have race radio running in my headset here. Jacob Schneider coming down pit road, Alex Murray, Jeremy Miller, Joe Pisciota, everybody on the lead lap, including Chris Claude, Rafael Rodriguez, and now Brian Tarnowski staying out to see if he can get that lap back. Perhaps the lucky dog is Brian.
Possibly. As 21 car making it off pit road, winning the battle. Done that every single time here tonight, going through pit road.
But look who he's got in his rearview mirror, Jacob Schneider. That's not who I want to see back there if I was Joe Pisciota.
Exactly. That's the person you do not want to see, because that tells you, hey, I might not have this for long.
Little refill there from Clover Farms ICT. Not an official sponsor yet, but they could be. If you're listening out there on YouTube.com and you happen to work at the Clover Farms Dairy up in Reading, Pennsylvania, I'd be more than glad to accept two free gallons of iced tea a week to keep plugging you. Do you guys have now, and just because obviously I've never been to Iowa or anywhere out there, out west, do you have like a local dairy that's got like that sugary iced tea?
I believe we do.
I wasn't sure if that was just a Pennsylvania thing or what. They call it iced tea, but mostly it's brown water with some flavoring.
Is it, what is the name of it again?
We have Clover Farms ICT. It's a local dairy.
Maybe. I actually really haven't, I guess, looked at that.
I know you won't have Clover Farms out west, but because it mostly doesn't leave Berks and Montgomery County, and a little bit of Schuylkill here in PA, is Race Control making their announcement.
Yeah, I'll have to look next time when I'm in the store about that.
Always a big fan of the local sugary iced tea flavors. Of course, here in PA we've got, let's see, I can't think of the name of the stuff that's here in Philly. It's basically sugar water. Then, of course, they have Gears iced tea in Schuylkill County. There's Zimmerman's iced tea in Carbon County. It's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah. And I know I can't remember what the name of it is, but we do have our own type of tea. I can't remember what it's called. I know Iowa does. I feel like every state does. But that might just be me.
I'm sure it's a thing. As Joe Pisciota going to have control of the field here, as we're going to go back green flag racing on lap 228. That leaves 40 to go until we see the checkered flag wave. Temper's going to be flaring moving through.
Yeah.
As we make our way down the backstretch.
Yeah, and do you want me or you to take the screen? Alrighty, as 2x2 racking and stacking them like Tony would say. Let's get ready to go green. As we are on the digger camera coming around turns 3 and 4. Let's go racing, right?
I'm ready. Let's rock and roll.
Alrighty. 2x2. Coming out of turn 4. Pace car dives down. Gives the restart zone to 21 car of Piscota. And green. Here we go. 40 laps to go. Let's see if we can get it done.
A good restart for Pisciota as he gets a good jump over Brandon Edstrom and Jacob Schneider. Single file goes just about that top 4 as it's going to leave Ryan Samuelson looking to go single file. It has right now Alex Murray hung out to dry on the bottom, and now they drop away from Samuelson. Samuelson trying to get his way back in here just ahead of Tanner Marty.
Yeah, and that will allow uh Snyder, not Snyder, 74, not 24. I swear, I know the numbers. I promise. I swear. 74 to try to get past Snyder. Will it happen though?
Well, looking right here, Schneider trying to hold off Edstrom and the 30 car, as it looks like he's going to be able to. That's Jeremy Miller in the 30. Then we go back to the double deuce of Alex Murray and Brandon Edstrom in the 74. They're all trying to hold their line here, as that's allowing Pisciota to put some distance between them. As we come down the Nellis straightaway here on the back chute, we go single file all the way back in through Tanner Marty and Chris Claude in 8th position. So they're single file through that top 7. Chris Claude thinks he's got a little something here on the high side, as he has yet to get a league win here. He's out here hunting. And I got to believe that Chris Claude, whether he's in the playoffs or not, still going to be digging for a win here in this league.
100% as Chris, it's been a minute, I feel like, since I've seen him win a race. He is up there. He's never won.
No, sir, not in this league.
I thought he won.
Nope. Chris has been running this league now the last 4 seasons, and not a win yet to his credit. He's come close. He almost gave me a heart attack last year at Talladega. Oh, as Chris rubs the wall. See, that there it was. Well, young lady, I guess we'll just put the broadcaster's Kavorka on him.
And I totally thought he won a race. That is my fault.
Deb Harris cheering on Brandon Edstrom, as Edstrom here making a charge for the lead. He's back in 7th position right now, but he's absolutely hurling around the 74 through turns 1 and 2. He's holding off Ryan Samuelson, and he's got the 80 over top of him, Mark Johnston.
Yeah, as 2 wide action with about 36 laps to go. About 33 actually. 2 wide action from front to back reminds me of like a restart, right?
Yeah, it's almost like they haven't found their way yet here after this last restart, with now a little bit more than 30 to go.
Yeah, like you said, 30 to go. It's nothing but spicing it up at this time. I expect nothing to change from these drivers right now.
As we're working lap 234 of 267, I'm Dave Regal. She's Emily Urias. This is Sim Racing Media. We want to thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're going to step aside and pay some bills one more time as we get ready to wrap it up here on Sim Racing Media.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing. Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. With 25 laps to go, Rafael Rodriguez, your new race leader, as he has been patient all evening long and worked his way up here. Don't look now, though. Joe Pisciotta going to challenge for the lead after he and the 62 of John Wilco were allowed to run up here and burn some of their equipment off. It's now 24 to go at the line. Dave Regal and Emily Urias with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth, live on Sim Racing Media. Thank you for making us a part of your evening, as Joe Pisciotta, now your race leader, bringing along Jeremy Miller and Jacob Schneider.
Yeah, two-way action for second place between 60 and 30 of Miller. Gonna be pushing back the 60. Like you said, they allowed them to run up there to burn up those tires, and honestly, that kind of seems like a smart move. Save those tires, let others burn it up. That makes sense, right?
I mean, usually at super speedways we use that term fuel pig, if you will, and right now Joe Pisciotta being challenged by Jeremy Miller and Jacob Schneider. Schneider kind of hanging out behind him on that rear bumper of the 21. The 02 just kind of lurking around, as once again we see Pisciotta taking the extreme low line through the tri-oval to use as much speed as he can to get up near the wall and haul it down here into 1 and 2.
Yeah, as they are working too wide for that third place. Second and third place gets by Snyder. Not Snyder. Yeah, Snyder. I don't know why I thought that was a different car, but yeah. So too wide, Snyder and Miller working there. No changes right there. Just running side by side about equal setups, right?
They are equal setups, but they're not equal drivers, that's for sure. Right now, Pisciotta trying to hold both of them off at the same time. Now it looks like Miller getting around Pisciotta. As I mentioned to you off air during that last ad break, this is the trifecta that we were going to see, the little triad coming out here atop the pile with 21 to go. Ryan Samuelson and Alex Murray with Brandon Edstrom making up your top 6, and Edstrom now starting to harass Alex Murray deeper here in the field, as it looks like Edstrom going to be putting Alex Murray into the crosshairs, maybe trying to make that pass for fifth position. Ryan Samuelson in the Hoka machine, he's running all by himself, but they've all got about 0.2 of a second to Schneider and Pisciotta while they follow. Whoa! Murray making contact with Pisciotta. They're going down into the infield. Goes Jeremy Miller.
And that should be a caution.
That is a caution. We're going to see that one once again right here.
Wow.
As we see this from our drone cam, it looks like Pisciotta right on the rear bumper. Oh. That's going to be interesting no matter which direction you come from.
Ooh, 29 car.
Let's see if we can get zoomed in here. There's Pisciotta making contact with him. And we're going to look right here once again from Pisciotta's perspective. Give me 1 second here to pull this up, folks. As we're going to go right here onto the... let me see if I can get here onto the nose of Pisciotta. There's a bump. There's another bump, and that's the one that absolutely just blew him out of the water. Pisciotta now trying to be the race leader here as Jacob Schneider pulls away in first position. He's going to have Pisciotta just behind him. We may see some fresh tires here with 18 to go, Emily.
Yeah, no, 100%. If that was me, I would come down, get a fresh set of tires, and go back out there and run as fast as you can. That makes... that's reasonable, right?
Joe Pisciota with a little bit of the fake out here. Almost looks like he wants to push Schneider down pit road, as Schneider was our pole sitter at the beginning of the night. That's going to dump Pisciota off in what should be the 7th box here. So he's going to be getting his pit service. This is going to be quite an interesting race off of pit road now, as we can see Joe Pisciota now rolling away. Does he get off before Schneider? No. Schneider beats him off of pit road.
Yeah, and that will put Schneider up in P1 for, I think this is the first time the 21 has not beaten him off of pit road. Because normally that 21 car has beaten everybody off of that pit road. But it'll be about 15 to go once we come across this line. We'll see.
Well, you know, here's the thing, and I'm starting to hear some chatter on race radio that may make Pisciota go to the end of the line, as it looks like that's what will happen here. So that'll shuffle Joseph Pisciota to the back of the longest line. He'll be getting that EOL penalty.
Yeah, and that will definitely shake it up. It'll allow Murray. Words are hard today, I swear. The 22 car, 81, 74, puts Chris Claude, 10 car, been running strong all night, still on the lead lap with about 15 to go, 16 to go. That'll put him in 5th. So, quite interesting. Allows him to be able to get up here, and possibly we might see a new winner tonight. Possibly.
Anything is possible here on Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series Racing, brought to you by Stacy Strong. Of course, Stacy Strong hearkening to our driver, Brian Tarnowski. We'll see if we can find Tarnowski out here on the track, and there he is in the Trish's Hope number 28 Chevrolet Camaros. He gets himself back here onto the lead lap after battling all night long to get past that lucky dog spot. Of course, Stacy Strong calling out to his late wife, Stacy Tarnowski, who he lost year before last, in her battle with cancer. And I'll tell you what, it was something really special to watch the way that our community reached out to Brian through that. And Brian has taken that sorrow and turned it into such power here on iRacing.com, and really made this special, as we are here in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, after Stacy's battle with breast cancer ended tragically. And you know, as we've talked about before, that was also one of the pet projects of our late great friend Tony Trapasso, whose seat I sit in tonight. And we want to thank everybody for their support over the last several months, over the last couple, now 2 years of Trish's Hope and Stacy Strong Cup Series Racing, and of course the last 2 months here without the great Tony Trapasso here at the microphone. And God, I miss him. I miss him so. Watching that race last night with Frank in the booth was interesting. I got very emotional very quickly. So, looking back upward, Jacob Schneider going to have control of the field as we come through the 3-4 complex. He'll be followed by Alex Murray, Ryan Samuelson, and Brandon Edstrom, your top 4. These first 2 rows, and Ryan Samuelson here in the Hoka machine, going to be starting on the inside of row number 2. Jacob Schneider watching the iRacing.com pace card make the hard left down pit road. We come into the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway. 15 laps to go now, Emily, as we move it through 1 and 2. 14 at the line.
Yes, sir. As side by side in the back of the field, Schneider is going to be taking the lead with Marie on his bumper, not giving him any room to move. Literally on the bumper, giving him a little shove. Saying, hey, I'm here, and we're gonna get this to happen.
Absolutely, all kinds of a crazy battle. Look at Brandon Edstrom pushing Alex Murray around here through the tri-oval. He dumps Murray out underneath Jacob Schneider as they go door to door through 1 and 2 and onto the Nellis straightaway. Of course, the Nellis straightaway, a tip of the cap to the Nellis airfield that this racetrack sits on top of. We haven't even had time to talk about it tonight, but right now it goes Schneider, Murray, and Edstrom. Your top three. That's got to make Deb Harris very happy in our youtube.com live chat, as she's always pulling for Brandon Edstrom. Glad to have her with us as always. Jacob Schneider, though, going fender to fender now with Alex Murray. These two drivers going to be duking it out here down the backstretch, as look at this push that Edstrom is giving him. That was almost super speedway material, as we just saw Edstrom pushing Alex Murray around and dumping him off into the lead.
Yeah, as battling for first, second, third, and fourth in that punch right there. Diamond, like you mentioned before, action pack racing with 11 to go. I don't know who's going to win this. It's a close race.
It's still anybody's race, as Alex Murray just wobbled back and forth across the backstretch here. Brandon Edstrom looking now to the inside of Alex Murray, as Edstrom trying to find himself some kind of real estate. He's blocked off, though, by Jacob Schneider, as Schneider in the 0-2 holding his own with those pink wheels going around. Of course, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so keeping that theme alive here, as once again going into turns 3 and 4, Edstrom on the high side trying to use as much of that speed as he can, as they haul it off in there at 185 miles per hour through the tri-oval.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, super speedway speeds are around this. Maybe about 10-15 miles more, but side by side, running that mid-high line. Like I mentioned very early into this race, that mid-line is going to be the line to run. Get a really good, a really good run coming off that mid-line, but that bottom line is still going to be a fast line as well.
Here is Brandon Edstrom. We're going to look at it right from the roof of his car. 192 into the turn. Now, Edstrom last week had great success as he brought home the checkered flag. He's chasing down Alex Murray yet again here. Murray, our points leader, looking to see if he can get the early transfer spot. But 193 into the corner is incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that on a super speedway though, right? They're going around those speeds, but you have to be in draft to get those speeds. Now, when you go to this track and you go to 193, you're like, wait a minute, why can't I just do this easily at, Dega or Daytona, right?
Absolutely, and there's even a little notch in the wall coming out of turn 2 where you can sort of use that as a little extra momentum, where you can take some of that energy and it flings it out to the wall on that safer barrier. So right now, Edstrom testing to see whether or not he can get around Murray, and it looks like he may be able to with now 6 laps to go.
Yeah, with 6 laps to go, it is going to shake it up.
Joseph Pisciota now creeping in here once again after getting the AOL penalty after that last incident. Looks like he's ready to challenge for the lead once again. As we come through the tri-oval, Pisciota going down here onto the apron to see how much speed he can generate, swinging out to the wall, and now a side-by-side battle for the lead, as Brandon Edstrom going to challenge Alex Murray here. So Deb Harris got to be a happy camper right here watching Brandon dive down into 3.
Yeah, like you mentioned, still battling Edstrom is your current leader. Schneider's back and forth. I'm wondering if he's letting them burn up the tires for these last 4 laps so we can just make a huge push. What do you think?
I'd say you're probably close to correct as we watch here from the blimp. Door to door goes Edstrom and Pisciota as Pisciota has fought his way back to the front of this pack. That makes Edstrom check up and go single file, and now he's got to kind of back off, survey the field, and make another attack plan to get up to the lead in the 74.
Yeah, as 2x2 for first, second, third, and fourth bumper Schneider gives to that 21 car. 22nd, 22 car goes up ahead. Battle for first to fourth. Crazy action between these drivers showing I'm going to try to win this race with 3 to go.
Absolutely. Alex Murray, your race leader, watching the battle go behind him as they roll it out of turn number 4 onto the tri-oval. The popsicle sticks go in the air. We're 2 to go.
Yes, sir. As we are getting to that time, 1 to go. This time will be coming by. Hopefully this time by. Will it happen?
Ryan Samuelson, gets into Edstrom. Oh, no. Sideways they go, and NASCAR overtime going to be in effect as Brandon Edstrom gets turned sideways. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to run this back as fast as humanly possible, as right now we just saw probably the move of the race change all of this around for us, as we're going to go right here to the blimp cam. We're going to be watching Ryan Samuelson. He catches that left rear of Pisciota right there. Let's see if we can just slow this down ever so slightly. As Emily, this is probably going to be the move of the race. Now we're watching right here. That's the 81 of Ryan Samuelson in that Hoka Ford. He catches the left rear of Joe Pisciota. Pisciota starts to turn sideways, catches the front right of the 81, and then the 81 catches Brandon Edstrom and turns him completely sideways. We see the roof flaps go up to keep him on the ground.
Look how far they pushed him. Wow. That was basically half, if not almost that whole backstretch that they pushed him. And everybody down pit road, I was just about to say, will everybody come down pit road? And yeah, almost a lot of these drivers came down that pit road to get a fresh set of shoes on it. Will it make a difference? We'll see.
Well, we're going to have NASCAR overtime in effect now, folks. What that means is that when we come around and take the green flag, it's going to be 1 lap to the checkered flag. So here's the deal. They're going to race around and see whether or not they can make it to the white flag cleanly. If they make it to the white flag cleanly, we race back to checkers. If something happens that brings out the checkered or the yellow flag, I'm sorry, holy Christmas. If something happens that causes a caution before taking the white flag, we're going to pause, restart, rack 'em, stack 'em, and do it all over again. If not, and they come around and take the white flag, the next flag ends the race, whether it's checkered, yellow, or a combination of the two. So things about to get real interesting, as I feel like that Pisciota wasn't the cause there so much as it was the 81. So depending on what race control says, that's going to shuffle Ryan Samuelson back to the end of the line. He'll take that EOL penalty. Luckily for Pisciota, that wasn't his second cause. Otherwise, he would have been DQ'd.
Yeah, definitely shaking things up right now. I'm curious to see how this will end with. It'll be 2 to go once we get ready to go green. Curious to see if Snyder will come home. He's been running 5th and up this whole race. He won stage 1. He got 2nd in stage 2. Will we see a trend in the final race?
Joe Pisciota going to have control of the field here coming into the green-white checkered land. He'll be followed by Jacob Schneider, Alex Murray, Jeremy Miller, John Wilco, Brian Tarnowski, Chris Claude, Brandon Edstrom, and Rafael Rodriguez. They will be your lead lap cars. Now, the interesting thing here, as Emily just mentioned, Alex Murray, all the way down through Rodriguez, came in for pit service, including now Ron Fitting. So the interesting thing is going to be whether or not Pisciota and Schneider can hold everybody else off, as they last came down to lap 252. So the tire's not that old, but maybe just enough that it opens the door for Murray, Miller, and Wilco to make a charge at the podium.
Yeah, and that definitely 100%. I wonder, has Piscodio won a race before here in the Cup Series?
Let's take a look.
Because we might have.
It's a valid point.
We possibly have, or maybe will have, a new winner here in the Cup Series.
Let's take a look here. Pisciotta does have one win from earlier in the season. He's out of playoff contention.
So,
FGD 5604 saying checkers or wreckers.
I mean,
Kaylee
don't
Schneider
know.
saying that was an unfortunate wreck. Deb Harris screaming SOAB.
I don't know. They were almost to that white flag, but here we are racking them, stacking them. Drivers are driving inside and out, swerving, trying to get those tires warmed up and ready to go for these last 2 laps. 21 car of Piscodio will have the trigger once this pace car gets down into pit lane. I bet we see a hornet's nest here.
It's going to get real ugly. It's going to get real fast as the iRacing.com pace car leads us out of out of turn 4, getting ready to make the turn down pit road. We're going to see the man in the stand with the green flag in his hand. He was waiting. Everybody's starting to get a little jumpy here. We enter the Geico restart zone and we're underway. "12 cars take the green flag here. 2 to go. Popsicle stick still in the air. Joe Pisciotta holding on to the lead, but don't look now. Jacob Schneider starting to fade backward as Alex Murray and his fresh tires starting to make some hay here on the low side.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Schneider.
Schneider just shot the moon here and squeezed himself through like a ketchup packet as they come out of turn number 4 back onto the front stretch. Popsicle sticks go down, white flag in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Side by side goes Alex Murray and Jacob Schneider coming into 1 and 2. This is going to be a battle of grip here on the racetrack as Alex Murray on the fresh tires comes out of turn 2 and down the back chute. He's followed by Jacob Schneider and Jeremy Miller, as Miller also with the fresh tires trying to make some kind of hay. Schneider, however, not able to catch up to Murray as Murray rolls it out of turn number 4. He can see the goal here, the checkered flag in the air. He comes across the line and just barely does Jacob Schneider beat out Jeremy Miller. It goes Murray, Schneider, Miller, Rodriguez, and Edstrom, your top 5.
Crazy race from start to finish. 22 of Murray winning it here tonight with Schneider, Miller, Rodriguez, Edstrom, Piscotta, and Wilco. Samuelson, Claude, and Hernowski rounding up your top 10 for this end of, at least top 10 so far. Crazy race here tonight, right?
Crazy is probably an understatement for sure, as we saw some of the hottest action of the night with the checkered flag in the air. That will conclude our race here as Alex Murray going to celebrate sliding across the start-finish line and get ready to burn the house down here in the desert.
Yes, sir. As 74 car congratulating teammates? I don't know.
Why not? We're gonna
Yeah.
get Alex Murray down here into the waiting room. Just got to grab everybody. And right now we finally have a moment to catch our breath as we're here with Alex Murray. Hey, Alex, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, listen, great finish to tonight's race. I mean, you got those fresh tires as fast as you possibly could on 267. Obviously, they helped you get across the line here. How was that No Kid Hungry number 22 tonight?
It was really good. Ryko built a great setup again this week, and onto the championship. So that's good. Definitely out for vengeance after last year, and glad that I'll be able to go for it.
Yeah, you've punched your ticket into the championship 4 in that final round of the playoffs for 2023. Now, with that being said, going into Homestead next week down in Miami, and of course the following week at the Paperclip, are you maybe going to play it a little conservative here, or are we considering just driving the wheels off the Double Deuce?
Oh no, we're going for wins. I mean,
Attaboy.
obviously everyone's gonna be going for it, but we're already locked in, so why not go for it and try to make it a little bit harder on everybody else.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, just a really strong run tonight, and I couldn't be more proud to sit up here in the broadcast booth watching you pull that one off. For sure, it was a long battle tonight. Nobody was really giving any kind of room tonight on the racetrack. So, congratulations for that as well. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to tip your helmet to for this run tonight?
Yeah, everybody at Prodigy Esports, Ryko Performance, they build us a great setup every week, and it shows. NAMI, Northern Alliance on Mental Illness, for their continued research and dedication to help those with mental illnesses. Also, No Kid Hungry for providing 10,000 meals to children all around the world every day. And just family, fiance, son, everyone who supports me doing this, and going to go for it at Homestead as well.
All right, my man. Well, listen, congratulations, and we will see you next. Well, actually, no, I lie. We will not see you next week at Homestead, as we will be in Homestead, Miami, for the race. But we'll see you once again at Martinsville.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
And Emily, I believe that you should have Jacob Schneider, driver of the number 02.
Jacob, this is Emily and Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Crazy race here tonight, coming out in second place, finishing first, then second in that, first two stages. Had it strong, then finished in it strong at the end of the race. What was going on through your mind?
It got crazy there at the end. I was just trying to survive, and I thought track position would prevail there at the end on that green-white checker, but Alex going and taking tires was the right call. I couldn't hold him off.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, still coming home in second, strong here tonight, obviously winning stage 1 and coming in second, stage 2, then finishing the race in second. A lot of points to be coming home here tonight. Dave, do you have anything for him?
Yeah, man. Listen, Jake, it's been an exciting night so far. I mean, there was basically no room out on the racetrack for error, as we discovered a couple of times tonight. But still, overall, a pretty clean race. Take us through this last stage and how you wound up here.
The first bit of it was clean. We were all just saving tires. I think I played the strategy right, and if it went green, I think I had it won. But so does probably 8 other people. Probably got a lot of people saying that, probably. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but once the yellows started coming out, it was just survival and keep my nose clean, try to keep track position.
Absolutely. Well, listen, before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and shout out tonight?
Definitely Ryko Motorsports for the killer setups. NAMI, No Kids Hungry, Prodigy Esports. My family for watching. I think they're in the broadcast.
Yeah, Prodigy always has a pretty big following here in the YouTube.com live chat. So good for you, man. Congratulations on the P2 finish, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Of course, you'll be here on the racetrack in Homestead, as we've been trying to gently remind everybody. We won't be on the air next week, as we will be in Miami.
All right, good deal. You guys have fun.
Trust me, I'm sure we will. But have a good night, as we're going to shuffle off here. And last but certainly not least on the podium, Jeremy Miller, driver the number 30. Hey, Jeremy, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Jeremy, listen, great finish tonight. I know that, you gave it all you could. And, I mean, take us through this last stage. I mean, you came down pretty hot and heavy, but still not able to beat out Alex Murray.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an up and down stage, right? Saved tires at the beginning of it, got to the lead, and actually drove about a second ahead of the field. Felt like I was in a pretty good spot there. The tires were hanging on really good, and they wrecked behind us. We bunched it all back up, have to, go back for the whole tire saving thing, get back to the lead and get wrecked, and came back across traffic. Tanner Marty was a victim of that, which sucks. Don't want to ever do that, but just trying to collect the race car and keep it going because it's a playoffs. I got to get back going if I had it straight still, and I did. and just got the car fixed and was able to rally back for a third on the final restart.
Yeah, man, it was a wild stage 3. I mean, especially after such a clean first 2 stages. So, I mean, things happen, and, here we are coming into, the next race of the playoffs. What are you thinking going into Homestead, Miami?
Yeah, I mean, Miami's one of those really fun tracks, right? We see a lot of multi-groove racing there in real life, a lot of running around the wall. iRacing's probably not going to go to that same field, probably going to be a lot more strapped to the bottom like anywhere else. Might even be more multi-grooved here than there with this car and this tire model, but not necessarily one of my strongest tracks, but definitely a track I think that I can figure out if I just put the time in, so we'll go out and try to have another really strong run there.
Well put, sir, well put. Well, listen, before we let you loose, who do you need to thank for tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank NAMI for all of our continued research, for helping those with mental illness, and of course, No Kid Hungry, who's on the car, for providing over 10,000 meals all around the world to kids every day. And then just got to thank everybody with Ryko and Prodigy Esports that put these badass setups under the car every week and allow us to come out and perform like this.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations once again. We will see you in a couple of weeks as you head to Homestead without us here on iRacing, but we'll be there physically. So congratulations, good luck, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks.
Well, Emily, once again, another one in the books here in the Stacy Strong Cup Series on Sunday Night NASCAR, and what a race it was for you to be here in the booth with me.
Yes, sir, and it's always a pleasure racing here with you, and I'm hopefully be able to do it again sometime soon. Not racing, in the booth with you. You know what I meant.
I do.
But yeah, no, 100%. It was a great night. From start to finish, this race was, again, awesome league to be with, and I'm glad that I was able to be here with you tonight.
Absolutely. And, of course, as we mentioned before, and we're going to say it one more time tonight, and, of course, I'll remind you tomorrow, next Sunday we will not be on the air, even though that the Stacy Strong Cup Series will be on the track at Homestead. We will be at the track as Sim Racing Media going to be live in Miami, so keep an eye on the YouTube channel as we'll be going live, I'm sure, at least once from Miami. So thank you to everyone who made tonight possible. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. And for Emily Arias and myself, Dave Regal, here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to take one final look at our results as Alex Murray brings home the checkered flag, followed by Jacob Schneider and joined by Jeremy Miller on the podium. Rafael Rodriguez and Brandon Edstrom round out the top 5, while Joe Pisciotta, John Wilco, Ryan Samuelson, Chris Claude, and Brian Tarnowski make up your top 10, Emily.
11's going to be Ron Fitting. 12's going to be Mark Johnston. 13's going to be Tanner Marty. 14's going to be Sean Rogers. 15's going to be Cody Colley. 16's Raymond Root. 17th, Ken Ron. 18's going to be Kavaja Holt. I'm always going to get that wrong. Then 19th is going to be... Give me 1 minute. It's going to be Randall Watkins, then Matt Metler.
Absolutely. So once again, for myself, Dave Regal, and Emily Arias, we want to thank everybody for stopping in tonight, hanging out with us here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. And until we meet again, I want to thank Deb Harris for joining us. As always, all of you in the YouTube.com live chat, we appreciate the kind words and, of course, all of the support from all of you at home. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here on Sunday night, and we want to thank you once again for hanging out with us this evening. I'll see you tomorrow night on the A Lot Cleaner Property Management and Maintenance Xfinity Series, and tomorrow as you go through your day, remember, you're special. You're the only one like you, and that's good enough for me. Good night, everybody.